Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dark Sun. How's y'all doing? How's it
We're
going?
tired.
Yeah, right. Seriously, it's like Mike and Wade had the good idea this week. You know what? I'm gonna plan in advance not to show up, and then like the three of us are like, yeah, we're gonna be there. Fuck, I'm
And we all
tired.
regret the choice.
Yeah,
Could have just taken the week off.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
fun.
yeah. Everyone ignore that I'm cooking my cat back there. He's roasting on the stove.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. I honestly didn't even recognize that. That's funny.
That's a
Is it
smart cat.
is it a particularly warm spot?
I mean, it's literally on the
It's on
fire.
the stove.
It's on the fire. So
That's funny. I didn't know if I forgot if that thing is functioning or fashionable. So
it is 100% functioning. That is how we heat the house.
oh, okay, cool. All right. So, anyways, all right. Enough about you. How about me? Um, I'm ready to play some Dark Sun, and by doing so, what are we going to do this week? So, as a recap of what happened last week, sorry if this thing, my Roll20 window keeps like backing out. So if thing gets fritzy for a second, I'll fix it immediately afterwards. Sorry about that, everybody. But all right, so what happened last week was you guys were given the task to go and handle Champion Cor. My apologies, Champion Corno, and kind of like empty him out of that like region, that whole area that he was in, all of his men that were there, so on and so forth, and then like destroy a statue and put this like crystal in its place, which that was like, that's not important, is it? So
That's clearly some important MacGuffin that we'll come back to later.
So you go there to challenge him, to face him, and more or less you come to the conclusion like, you know what we should do? We should just like roll up as like a big princess on like a big carrying thing and be like, yoo-hoo, come here, Cordo. And then you realize, no, that's not going to work. So finding out information from people in town, more or less like he refuses to fight fights. He like sends his own men out to fight them for him, and it's just fucking bullshit. So you guys decide that this is ridiculous. It's not going to work. We need to call him out in front of his men, and then call his men out to their faces about him letting them do the job. So more or less Mortifer does that. A huge group of people come over. They start attacking you guys. There's literally a mob of people. But because of like powers that you had put up in advance, so on and so forth, Mortifer more or less comes away from it unscathed. Like they just did a bunch of temp HP damage to him. He comes away from it unscathed and like kills the one person that was standing there, kind of like calling the shots and calling them to his face, pretending like he didn't know Mortifer, even though he himself definitely knew who Mortifer was in the arena from beforehand, and then just kind of like turns the tides enough that he can actually proceed forward and start yelling to Corno. Then it becomes this almost like gladiatorial match between him and Cornell, back and forth, taunts and little tricks in the fight, and so on and so forth, until eventually he really turns the tide, turns the people against Cornell. They start saying some ridiculous nickname for Cornell. They start chanting Mortifer's name, etc., etc., and then it ends with Mortifer killing him. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it went something like 4. Oh, he just Happy Gilmore'd that, and he was not able to. Was that Happy Gilmore? Or was that Billy Madison? I'm not sure. They're all the same. So
I'm too young to know.
all those movies are 100%
one is a golf
the
movie
same.
and one isn't.
Yeah, but all those movies are 100% the same movie.
Weirdly enough, my generation has not made many golf movies.
So anyways, kills the guy, and then you guys report back to the Ivory Palace. And then the tail end of the session was actually trying to find out about the consecrated sepulcher of Badna, and if you could, the Hall of Conquest. And Dave actually has this wicked cool moment where he literally is inside the where the old books and whatnot were, all the old writings or notes of what had been going on in this region. And of course, it had all been emptied, right? But then he spoke to the champion that happened to be inside there, and she imparted onto him the ability to more or less feel the past of the room, and he had used that moment to like really do a bit of research and found out about the sepulcher. Most importantly, that apparently there is a passageway that exists beneath it, and the way to and from that passage is actually the arena. There's a passage to the arena, to the basement of the sepulcher, and theoretically that's how she would go and see the gladiatorial matches, the games, when she would watch them, and she would go there and use that passageway. So it's definitely not going to be a small tunnel if it's one that she can get through, right?
I was actually thinking about that earlier today, like trying to remember what was going on. I was like, oh yeah, she's got a secret tunnel that's probably really big.
Oh, unless she can like Santa Claus her way through it.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure there's some very specific Pathfinder rules for squeezing.
There actually are. There actually are, and fighting inside Titan spaces.
It's called Crisco, Ollie. Crisco.
So we're going to pick up this session with you had just made that discovery, that understanding of what it is that you need to do. And you were going to go reunite with the rest of the party and speak with them. When you do go reunite with them, you will come to realize that Jack and Mortifer aren't back at that room. Mortifer has been very boastful about how successful he was in that fight, and Jack, who wasn't there to witness it, he was like, I need to tell you all of the details. And Jack is like, this is so exciting, buddy. And he's like, no, I have to give you all of the details. So the two of them eventually end up leaving so that Jack can bring him to a bar and just buy him some drinks. It's like, come on, let's celebrate how awesome you are. Let's go. But Shashuk is, of course, sitting there with his slaves as you come walking into the room.
Just in the crotch of the new armor, as always.
As always. When you come walking back in there, Aina.
All right, so are Mortifer and Jack actually there? Just
They've pissed off.
They've pieced off. Okay. All right. Well, I
imagine you would even ask, where are Jack and Mortifer? And one of the slaves would be like, they pissed off.
So that one's got a mouth on him. He is gonna see the end of the belt.
Except he likes it. Anyway, I would kind of look around the room, see Shashuk, and just say, well, I made an interesting discovery while doing a bit of research. There is a way into that garrison, and I'd probably
Not the doors.
I
assume you don't mean the doors, right?
I give you kind of a smirk, like a snarky smirk, and I say no. And then because we live in the future, we're gonna do like one of my fancy creation hologram deals to show that there's a tunnel leading down below the garrison.
I hope future holograms don't work like Aina's do, but unfortunately, it's probably pretty likely that there'll be like some nanomachine goo that makes 3D images.
Yep.
I hate it.
Showing a path to the arena. So, out of game, I don't know what direction you're going to take today's session, Scott. However, I would be remiss to say that I feel like it is of great disservice if we were to explore the arena without Mortifer.
Well, no, it's a scouting. In fact, it might be better to go without Mortifer. Can I do a check to kind of know what really happened to the arena after the fall of the city?
Yeah, an important thing to note is that if Mortifer went walking back in there, he'd be like, Mortifer has returned! Mortifer is here to claim the rest of his victories and earn his freedom. Who here wishes to challenge Mortifer in the arena as it was meant to be done?
Well, I think that'd actually be a really.
We'll have to come back through anyway. So Morty,
that would be a good distraction while we do our scouting. Frankly,
it actually would be. That's what we would have done if he was here. Almost definitely.
So my apologies. You just asked me a question. I didn't catch
You
it.
got it. Do I know what's kind of happened to the arena after the fall of the city?
No, actually, you guys haven't just sent word. Paid anybody to send word from that way, or really interacted with it at all. The last experience that any of the party members had was knock down the wall and run away. That happened in the before.
And it wasn't even
session.
It
It wasn't even
us.
Shashik, yeah. It was
Yeah.
Mortifer and Jack.
I'm just trying to say where the arena is in the city real quick.
It's actually to the north east of the city. So if you were looking at your little map of where the concentrated sepulture is, and you were to hop that wall, that's actually like the closest to it. It's almost like it was designed that way.
So
Yeah, it would make sense. But I imagine we have to go out and then round,
Yes.
but that's not
yeah,
really
yeah,
much.
yeah. Or unless you had a means to like literally hop the wall.
I mean,
yeah.
I do. I have climbed this wall,
Mhm.
but Aina's an old man. So we'll walk. We'll take the long way.
I would also like to point out that while it's important that you guys do a little chat now, I imagine you would be waiting until tomorrow to actually get the job done.
We're injured.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Actually, we're actually perfectly fine.
But PowerPoints.
Yep. So what I would say is that I think I'd like to do a scout. I'd like to just see what state the arena is since the fall of the city, and I would appreciate if I could have a second set of eyes as I kind of look knowingly towards Shashuk.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm great at. I'm willing to bet though that someone or something is definitely still there. I mean, the arena's got tunnels, it's got seats, it's got shade. It's the perfect place to set up bandits, Templars, horrible sand monsters. We could encounter pretty much anything.
Well, keeping an open mind is, I suppose, good. However, I'm hoping none of those things are there.
There's definitely something there. And you know what, Aina? If there's nothing there, I'll eat my boots.
I look at his boots. What are your boots made out of?
They're actually sandals.
Yeah, I'm not even wearing
Magical sandals.
Yeah. I had boots. They're somewhere. They're probably kept somewhere just on the floor. Shashik isn't putting away his shoes.
In honor of the room that he spends his days, it's now a sex toy.
Okay. All right. I give you another kind of smirk about that, and I just say oh, so be it. Well, we will leave. I say kind of very definitively. We leave first thing in the morning.
Shashik does not argue because Aina is the smart one.
Okay. So the two of you guys, get whatever degree of sleep or meditation that you do overnight, and eventually, next day, kind of go about your business and whatnot. And Jack and Mortifer have not returned from their partying.
Do you think we should be worried about them? I feel like we shouldn't be worried about them. I feel like everything's going to be fine in a few days. They'll come back like nothing never happened.
Yes. Well, I have a feeling they needed a little them time. I think Mortifer has been missing Jack quite a bit.
I get what you're saying.
It's a codependent relationship.
They're gonna come back, and Mortifer's gonna have an Australian accent. It's gonna be weird. So, you guys head out the next day to start with your scouting. You're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, where you're gonna go about, how you're gonna go about doing this task. Are you actually heading straight to the arena, or was there anything that you wanted to do between here and there?
That's a good question. We have to go. Oh, considering where the gates of the city are, we basically have to go through the whole city to leave. Unless I'm looking at the map wrong.
Yeah, nope. So you more or less go through the city as you just described.
It's like the lower circle is where the gates in and out of the city are, which makes sense, more defense, right?
Yep.
I don't have anything planned, but I imagine Shashik wouldn't be in that much of a rush because he hasn't really got to go out and about in the city as much. So, probably stops in and buys food and, as my buddy Josiah would say, buys street meat. Definitely no rush.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of relying on Shashuk to lead the way because he definitely knows the city better than I do. So, I mean, I would pretty much just follow his lead. I would probably ask I probably just kind of like pause it a few times, like, is this the best way to the arena?
I don't think Shashik would have ever been.
I don't think he would have ever been either.
Knows where it is though.
That's outside the city walls, and really the only place that he would go outside the city walls is the Ghost City, right?
Which we're passing.
Yep. So, funny enough, you guys have been here before together.
Yeah.
That's where you had met. I don't know if there's like one of those cute little moments, like, hey, remember when we met right there?
Nah.
Right there.
Nah. It's Dark Sun.
So when you guys make your way outside the city, one of the things that you're actually going to notice, because you are going to be passing through the Ghost City, the Ghost City is a lot more empty than usual. Like, it's almost like a ghost town. There's a lot less people that live there than did prior. I mean, maybe 3/4 of them aren't there anymore. But either way, you make your way rounds into the arena. Oh, one more detail as you go traveling through the city. That plague, at least as of right now, has been spreading. And more or less the lower region of the city, like the poorest region, it's expanded to encompass about 70% of that region, and is starting to spill over into the next circle above that. So obviously it's nowhere near Queen's Hill, but it's starting to kind of like spill up. So,
Well, when I start
Face
seeing that,
masks.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna make some face masks.
yeah, it's
If I was gonna catch it, I would have already caught it. Shashik got low and close to a lot of infected people.
as I
they
hear
are.
somebody coughing.
Yeah.
That was funny. Was that Caitlin?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Oh, that's funny. Good timing. Good
love
timing.
that stuff.
It's like
Good
special effects. So anyways, so you
Definitely distracted. I don't think is worth stopping. Maybe slow down to kind of like, witness these changes.
Okay.
But the arena is the job.
so
Well,
you guys,
I would like, as I look upon this, I'd be like, I wonder if that blood that Jack gave is gonna be able to stop this. At this rate, it might.
Maybe
Poverty,
it made
crime
it
won't destroy the
worse.
city. Illness will.
Maybe it made it worse.
I basically have to believe it did not.
Cheshire kind of like I imagine when walking, clearly stops and thinks about that. It's a little bit of mental gymnastics. He has to go like think where Ina's position and everything. He'll nod and be like, I understand that. You want to believe that your family are doing the right thing. I mean, they're definitely murdering people, but I'm not a man who can judge. So, you know what? Hopefully they cure the pox.
Well, believe it or not, actually, the reason I did all this is not because they're family. That was, frankly, a coincidence. Their vision, the thing that they are aiming for, is something that I aimed for as well. It's a long story how I came upon this knowledge. However, when I found out my grandfather was involved, it was a surprise to me. And it was while I was already walking this path towards, as I look around, towards what has become of this city. However, I didn't know what that path would look like.
Shadow just kind of like scratches his face. It's like a bit of a silence, and he's like, "Yeah, family sucks. Yeah, don't really,
Good
really care.
talk. Good talk.
yeah."
So you you guys make your way, like I said, out to the city the long way. I'm not gonna have you make checks. There's not gonna be any random encounters or anything like that. As you make your way through using Shashik's kind of like he's very sharp at the moment. He had a good run yesterday. Things going well the past few days prior to that. He's rested up.
Fully fighting fit, man.
Yep. He's a good run getting you guys out of the city.
New
like I said,
sandals.
through the ghost town. And then kind of making your way, you would have got it up as early as possible, because what you can do is you can actually hug the outside of the west wall and allow that to give you shade from the sun as it's coming up. And you would have been heading over towards the arena as early as possible. That shade is both one for comfort, but also two, you're in the shade. People have a hard time seeing you. You don't stand out as much.
It's not like we're traveling stealthily, but if someone follows us, it's just like extra effort.
Yeah. So anyways, you guys eventually get to the northern reaches outside of what would have been the wall of the Queen's Hill itself, which is the largest and thickest part of the walls. Because it defends her, of course. Excuse me, I just yawned. And then you start making your
yawn. You didn't need to say excuse me. I just yawned.
You make your cut across the actual sands to get to the arena itself. Now, Dave, you've traveled across the actual tablelands many times. That's nothing new to you. You've traveled between a couple of city-states before. So the idea of walking across a couple of dunes to get over to the arena, not a big deal. Shashuk, this is the furthest you've ever been from the city and the most exposed you've ever been. Yeah. I imagine you're, what's that word for fear of open places? Agoraphobic? No.
Agoraphobic.
Agoraphobic. I said Aurora.
Yeah.
I said my daughter's name.
It's definitely... He's definitely not confident. It's one of those things he wouldn't say Aina's got the lead, but he would slow down to the point that Aina is leading. And is like not very good on his feet, which is like the first time you ever see him doing that. He's probably would have like bought some kind of sun protection, like a fucking hat or something while he was going over here, because he's very paranoid about being out in the desert.
Are you wearing a Kentucky Derby hat?
If possible.
You know those big floppy like the what is it, the rain in Spain? Like, anyways, so you you know what I'm talking about.
No, I very much don't, which is why it's funny.
Those big floppy hats, and then I
know
to my Fair Lady, the rain in Spain. I was mainly in the no. Oh, anyway, you never saw My Fair Lady?
No.
You've never seen My Fair Lady?
I remember, Scott, if the question is, have you seen blank? The answer is usually no.
Oh my God, but it's a classic. It's like an amazing play.
Classic.
Oh,
plays
musical play.
More likely I've seen.
It's a musical.
But I haven't.
But it's a play that became a movie with Audrey Hepburn like many years later. But anyways, so you are making your way across the plains there. As you just described, your character is kind of struggling with it. And one of the things that kind of gets to you the most is how you have literally zero cover. Like the carrion flying overhead and whatnot, you have literally zero cover. It's not a huge trek from one to the other, but you're also not traveling in the safety of huge numbers as people are walking to and from the arena. And people just kind of out here in general has been much lower. So creatures in the region might be a little bit more hungry than usual. I'm going to need a survival check to get from A to B. Who would like to roll it?
Not me. Just straight up not me. I was like, I might have good survival. I might have done that. No, I did not do that. I did the opposite of that.
Do you have what's your survival?
-1.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, not me.
All right, here we go.
I think Mortifer's the one with good survival. Now I'm thinking about it. We take that.
Nice. What did you? What's your modifier? Is it 2?
2.
2. Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Wow, rolling at 19. Good for you. So you as we said, so you guys are picking your way through there, and you're actually very fortunate because there are 2 things that you could have encountered, but were able to circumvent. One of them was as you were going over a dune, literally has at one point in time where Einer's like stopping to catch his breath because he's a feeble old man, and Shashik maybe for a moment starts to walk forward again. Shashik would be like, hold up, not there, and like use his umbrella to gesture towards a funny looking shape in the sand, but it looks for a moment to Shashik like just sand. But then Shashik realizes maybe it's not just sand, maybe it's sand on something. Oh, it's sand on a big flat rock. That's strange. And then I don't know how much Einer would explain what a trapdoor spider is and exactly how large they grow. But but Einer definitely knows the dangers of that.
I'm almost sad we didn't encounter a giant trapdoor spider. That would have been like I probably would have died. But what a way to go, right? Just like Gone.
You could be about as badass as Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I probably like having seen that and being like, I would actually probably spend one PowerPoint and summon a cheap astral construct just to walk a ways ahead of us.
Ah, that makes sense actually.
okay, and so that will be kind of like what triggers the next thing that happens is literally as you have that thing walking ahead of you guys, what could have been an attack of the sand sharks against you guys actually goes and attacks that thing instead, and so it comes over and it's like oh, and just pops up and eats the thing and goes back under, and you're like, well, that's our cue. And you guys pick up the pace a little bit to get yourself back onto where the ground is a little bit more solid, and you're actually right outside the arena.
That's so good.
So now you guys, as you're approaching the arena itself, I imagine you're going to the area where the typical viewers would go to, the actual like grand entrance.
That's where I think it'd be best to start. Yeah.
So because there are two entrances, one of them was somewhat destroyed, and then there's the big grand entrance, which is the one that we're describing right now, that has like the big archway and it's very broad and very tall. It's made for all sorts of different sized people to get through. So as you guys go to approach this big grand entrance, roll 3 perception checks. Both of you guys can do so.
Whatever we see, we both
rolled a stealth roll of 11.
So as you guys are walking up, one of the things that you guys notice, and this is kind of like anytime you watch or play anything that has to do with like zombie apocalypse, post-apocalyptic, or like the Fallout series, anytime you approach like a new area, it's always one of those kind of like tentative approaches where you don't just go like walking right the way Mortifer would. You kind of like a ginger approach and looking ahead, and in doing so, you actually do see signs that there are people here. Namely, you actually see 3 people kind of up ahead of you having a conversation with one another. You actually see them before they see you, which is kind of nice because maybe that means that they don't intentionally have scouts, or maybe that means that their scouts just haven't informed them yet. But you see this group of 3 people before they see you. If you just continue your approach as normal, they'll definitely notice you. Do you intend to kind of creep the way up, or
so? Describe these people. Describe these people.
Absolutely. So as you guys are approaching the big grand area, like I said, it's a huge archway. It's very tall, very broad. Has the columns that are there. At one point in time, it was very majestic looking as you would approach the arena as a viewer. Many, countless years have passed, and nobody's given a fuck to make it look nice since then. So it is very much fallen apart. Some of the columns are actually completely knocked over. One of them actually tilted like 45 degrees into the one adjacent to it. That one with a slight angle to that one, but still holding up like the beam overhead that they were actually supporting, the big like stone slab overhead that they were supporting. In that front area that was there, that's where you would actually have like a bit of a marketplace where people would sell wares, so on and so forth.
Buy your Mortifer action figure.
Sort of a
genuine smashing action.
That sort of a thing. Except the smashing action was over in the red light district of that. So,
well, you go for a nice day trip to the arena. Might as well get your money's worth.
So you, when you go looking, what it is actually that 45-degree knocked over column is kind of like it's blocking their view. So at first you just kind of like see legs, and then just like a quick little like more careful look, you see the people. They're definitely dressed in like the rags of what would be like makeshift leather, studded leather kind of armor, hide armor, just kind of like thrown onto them, stuff that wasn't specifically designed for them. They have the very dark sun look to the Ephesian look to the characters, clearly both malnourished and starved, while at the same time still able to have the fortitude to just keep moving on. They look very Raider-esque.
Humans?
Humans, definitely, all 3 of them.
It's one of those things where like Shashik is like fiddling with his dueling dagger while like looking at it, and is like, no, I don't know. I mean, for a second there, I thought they were elves, and I was definitely going to cut their heads off. But
yes, well, we don't know how many of them are there.
Which is even a better reason to kill these ones now. Unless you want, if you want to talk to them, you can.
I kind of look over him and I'm just one thing our journeys have taught me is that talking is not one of my strong suits, at least when it comes to convincing others of things.
We need to know what's in there. I might be able to make them talk, and then you kill them if they're not very polite.
All right. I suggest you go give you go talk to them, and I'll cover you. If anyone looks bad, I'll sail with their minds with so much sonic force that it'll cause their heads to explode.
Heads explode. Got it. And then I'm gonna try and jump up to the just climb. Just start climbing the. I want to get on top of that little stone slab you were mentioning on top of the pillars.
Okay. So you start making your way, like you said, over towards them. You're not being sneaky.
Ideally, I would sneak and acrobatics if I'm allowed.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead.
Do acrobatics first, because I imagine the climbing is a little more. Still an 11.
Still an 11, and Einar is not being sneaky.
No,
I'm not even approaching. I'm staying.
Yeah.
I'm holding back.
Mm-hmm. So you are easily able to get up to the pillars the rest of the way as possible. Then you start trying to like climb up one of them, and it's like, trying to climb up, but unfortunately, it's so in such horrible disrepair that like bits where you get your handhold into crumble and whatnot.
Yeah, just not possible.
With your natty one, unfortunately, it's not that you it's not like an auto failure or anything like that. It's like a critical failure or anything like that. But it does like trigger, like they do hear a noise, and so they go and investigate. And then you, Einar, get this beautiful like front row seat to watch as they go to investigate it. And then you have Shashuk like, oh shit, like hanging onto the side of the pillar, but then like shimmying sideways on the side of the pillar.
The second they start coming this way, I just drop and turn to them.
Oh, okay.
Like the stealth was to get up to them, but I'm gonna talk to them. So I just, when it's clear I'm being spotted, I just drop and draw my weapons.
Okay, awesome. So you just drop and draw your weapons. So about a second after that happens, because you're just very quick. So as a second after you draw your weapons, you're kind of like at the ready. That's when they'll actually come into sight of you, because they had to kind of like pinpoint exactly where that was.
And I was like, "Hello, gentlemen."
They look at you, your weapons drawn and everything, and they kind of like look about to see if there's anybody else around. With that, Einar, were you literally just standing there?
No, I mean I would be behind something, but I guess I would be rolling a stealth check to see.
Just like crouched behind a rock, but like
do my best
you can
to
just
like
see him there.
hide. Yeah. We'll see how well I'm doing there.
Your metal armor, reflecting light, 91.
Yeah, so that's before penalties. So that's actually a -2.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, boy. Oh my God. So they look about to see if there's anybody else there, and one of them actually does kind of like hey, and like gestures over to the side where you see like a beam of light, like kind of like reflecting off of Einar's armor.
There's definitely a shake of the head
behind a rock.
Hey, I didn't want to approach specifically for this reason. I cannot sneak. My sneak is naturally a 0, and then my armor makes it fracking terrible.
Well, you could wear your lighter armor. I think it actually increases your speed.
Yeah, by +1.
Yeah.
If I wear no armor.
Yeah, look at that. Well, not no armor, right? It's the psychoactive skid version, right?
Well, that's no armor.
Oh, is it no?
It grants no armor bonus, but instead I get +2 dex and +5 speed.
Oh, that's like the monk version. Oh, That's cute. All right, my apologies, because that class unfortunately was specifically designed for multi-classing. Like, let's be serious. The class that you play is not one that's meant for a full-blown 1-20.
The armor does a bunch of tricks if you actually invest in the class.
Cool. You could be Iron Man. So you make your so they come up to you, they look about, they see another one there, but they see he's kind of like crouched, and they look and they don't see any more, and so he's like, what you want about then? You know, and he also trying to like pull out his own sword, and they're all looking about and everything, trying to see if there's some sort
Cheshire
of
just
ambush.
grins. He's like, "You're gonna tell me exactly how many people are here, and I know that way I don't take your face off and stitch it to your friend's face. You know, so you get to be together when you're dead. So you're gonna tell me exactly who's here, exactly who's setting up, exactly what to expect. We're gonna have a lovely, polite conversation, and we're gonna go our separate ways."
Intimidation check.
Yeah.
There we go.
Woo! And
I
then-
never get to intimidate. That's why I was
Finally,
like, I should
finally.
kill them immediately.
And don't forget, it's effectively a 30 because you give them a -4 to the
Exactly.
counter side of that. So if they're within 10 feet of you, so he's just like, all right, you know, it's we don't need
My
violence.
favorite-
We don't need violence here.
Trope, and I'm glad Scott does it too, is when someone succeeds in an intimidate check and it doesn't terrify the person's like, it's not worth my effort. I'm just gonna. And I love doing that. I did that on Wednesday.
So he puts his own sword away. You know, comes over and goes to shake your hand.
You know what? The respect. Give it a glance. Check there's not like some kind of Assassin's Creed like wrist blade or anything, and then like.
Oh, I just hurt myself.
That's pretty cool.
I was telling you guys
What has
before
a
the
birdie
stream, I hurt my
brace?
wrist, and that just was.
But yeah, I'll shake the guy's hand.
Come on, Scott. You know you have to do it in moderation. Jesus Christ.
It's my
Wow.
right hand, and I'm a southpaw. So,
So when you do it that way, it actually feels like it's someone else doing it.
oh hey, this is exactly how that works. So
I don't need to sit here listening to dads talk about masturbation. Thanks.
but it's okay to listen to Mathis talk about
I'm still a
whatever
young
he did with
man.
that statue.
He's not a dad.
That makes it better. It is bad that you are outnumbered 2-1 dads.
Yeah.
I am outnumbered by dads.
Like last night, I was outnumbered by the ladies, or no, they said they were outnumbered by not dads. So, my
Scott,
apologies.
so
you shook his
anyway,
hands.
what's your mortgage looking like this year? Is
Yes.
you able to
Do you,
refinance?
oh man, do you want to
We
hear
had
about
a conversation about access to my house earlier, Dane. We can't.
So you he comes up, he actually goes and shakes your hand, and he's like, you know, Philly.
Shashik.
Right then. So I'm with a lot of people. A lot is in like a group, not a lot is in like a lot of us. You know. Anyways, so there's 7 of us. The other 4 are over there, you know, doing what they're doing. They're kind of scouting ahead. You see, we had this idea that you know, the gladiators, they always had down in there gold, you know, gold and stuff, and then all the weapons and the armor, and I could only imagine the harems that probably still stocked full of the women's, right? So we had this idea we'd come in and we'd take it all, you know, for ourselves, but unfortunately, fucking knife ears, they got there before we did.
Like Shashik, like very just like how I did, and like looks to Aino is like, I knew it. I knew there'd be elves here. I knew it. You look at this place. It's elf bait. I knew it.
It's the sand people in a place separated by sand from everyone else. Like so anyways, it's like
Yeah.
so the arena itself, it's got them all in there. It's got them down there.
So at this point, you know, obviously I've been seen.
They're in the tunnels.
I'll start approaching as I call out.
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
No,
This
he's
is one of the
he's with
guys.
me.
And
He's my old man. Not my old man, but he's an old man that I'm with.
oh, good for you two.
I would call out as like how many score?
Many of them.
He's like, oh, we weren't playing any games.
Shashik just kind of like blinks a few times because even he's smart enough to, and just says, "You know what? We have complementary goals. We ain't even interested in the gold. We just kind of want to look around the tunnels down there. So if you don't cause us no trouble, we might be able to clear out some of those knife ears."
Thinks like, yeah, no, I'll work with you. I have no problem helping you out. Sure. Anything else that I could do to kind of like help out in this situation?
I'll look at Aina and
How many? What I was specifically asking is how many elves did you see?
Yep. And he hadn't responded to that yet. So do you specifically ask a second time?
Well, yeah, I specifically asked a second time since he's like saying like, how can I be of help?
Oh, he's like, in the arena at any point in time, 2, 3 of them, and you know they're in the tunnels. You know them.
They're always in the tunnels.
You know them elves. They don't travel alone. They travel in groups. Am I right, boys? They travel in groups when they travel.
And the thing with elves, you know, they're fast. They'll be out those tunnels and at your throat like in a moment.
That's why we got a crossbow. And he gestures towards one of the other guys, and the guy's actually holding a crossbow, which is not. It's a heavy crossbow even.
Yeah.
Which is not a very common item by any stretch. It's like, get them on their way over. They run fast, not as fast as this thing goes back at them.
Well, when it comes to fighting, I'm great at making people stall. Gonna walk into that arena. We're gonna walk into that arena. We're gonna fight them a little bit. If you pick at them from the side of that crossbow, you get a few good hits off. All hunky-dory. And honestly, I think I'll do better hunting them down in the tunnels, but we need to clear the ones in the arena first.
He actually likes the idea of that. He's like, nods. All right. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'll stick to the sides and kind of fire on in. All right. Glad we met you then. So the spoils down below, he says, now kind of like leaning in, so much goes so far as actually throw an arm over your shoulder. Do you give him any form of a look or anything?
Cheshire just kind of shrugs and does the kind of like, just keeps moving so the arm goes off and is like, while I say I don't care, I might change my mind depending on what exactly we find down there.
Nods. All right, well, let's just say it's an open deal.
An open deal.
And so he looks at the other guys like, round them up, boys. We're gonna go shooting some. Oh, what do you call it when a whole bunch of people are kind of like in one small area, and you're just kind of like firing at them? And I don't know. We're just gonna go shooting at some people in an arena, and they start walking off.
Shoot at them like they're elves in an arena.
Yeah. He says, like gesturing, like he's like, I like that guy. He's a little off-putting, but I like that guy.
Shashik will kind of
Make some friends.
Step away a bit and kind of like glance at him and like, are you gonna come in with me? Or are you gonna?
Who you talking to me?
What are you gonna do? Yeah,
you talking to me? Yeah, it's I have your back.
All right, let's go. And Shashik will just straight up like swords in hands and just walk in.
Well, basically, I'll stand back and like do it. Like the second he's engaged with the elves, I'm gonna summon one of my dudes. Next time.
Absolutely. He's basically asking if you wanted to come in the arena as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, the range on the spell, I believe, is let me see, Astral Construct. How far can I actually summon it from? So I have to be relatively so. I can summon 35 feet away.
You can always run away if it gets troublesome.
Yep, so I'll be because so I'd probably I'd want to like enter in and be like within like 35 feet because I'd want to summon one right next to one of the elves so it can full attack
and give like a flanking bonus and stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot flanking bonuses.
So, yeah, I don't even know if we've been calculating a lot because we don't have a battle map, but
we actually, you guys often use flanking bonuses. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Well, we have someone in the party who sneak attacks, except that he doesn't attack, so it usually doesn't matter.
Yep, that's the thing. That's playing with Mike, pretty standard. So, Dave, your camera's a little blurry. So as you guys are making your way there, Einer's perfectly fine, which is exterminating the elven pests. So honestly, it's kind of like how you should approach elves in general. Just like, yeah, we don't need your kind here.
This is not the first and not the last time. And Shashik actually, just considering now that you guys live together, sometimes just randomly starts talking about how bad elves are and how they're just dirty creatures and stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's incredibly racist against elves. And okay, it'd be like, dwarves, they're not as bad. I still wouldn't, trust one.
No, you've done so in character several times beforehand. Specifically elves. I don't think you've said anything about dwarves, but specifically elves have.
We haven't met one, I don't think.
Yeah. So
No, we
anyways,
have. But not many.
So you make your way over towards where the actual arena is. So through this big grand area where literally it was just the three of them, and they kind of walk off and they pull from like some of the side areas where where the other friends are, where they were kind of like scouting. And they filter out the plan. And he actually looks back at you and he gives you a big toothless smile, like with like a slow nod, like we're prepared. And they kind of get into their own positions. As you guys yourselves are approaching the arena, are you sneaking up to the arena or are you just kind of walking in?
Considering the plan is to basically draw the elves into the open, I'm just gonna walk in. Yeah.
So the way to actually get there, because this is like the entrance that you would use as an audience member, as opposed to So when you actually go down to, because you want to just kind of like walk in, and this is something that wouldn't be difficult for you in general. When you go up to the arena itself, you literally walk up to the ledge that would drop down below to where the arena is.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, hold on, let me just make sure you said this right. So actually, if I remember correctly, the way that it works in this area is there's the arena has two sides to it for viewers. There's the one side that's kind of like out in the open and exposed and absolutely like the sun beats down in your eyes and it's horrible and people hate it. And then there's the other side that actually is it's actually down and at the same like level as the fight itself, so like at ground level, but it has a huge chasm between where the seats are and where the actual fight takes place. There's a ginormous chasm that exists there. You guys are going in on which side? The side with the chasm that you'd have to cross, or the side with the drop down that would be blinding. Fights usually happen in the evening, so it's morning. The sun would be at your back at this point.
I would prefer the drop down, I think.
Okay, so you're like the poor side.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the name they have for the people who have the poor side of theaters. I cannot remember. Man, my drama teacher back in high school was going to be so mad at me.
And they definitely watch the stream too. Definitely.
I wouldn't put it past them.
So you make your way over to that area where you see that, and you can actually see that the elves that are out there, they're very keen. You guys weren't stealthing your way in. They not only notice you, and clearly like one of them is like
I cast figure out myself before we go in.
Oh yeah, I cast concealing amorpha before we go in.
Ace, damn it, I knew you'd forget.
No, I don't forget. I actually remember to cast this spell. It's just trying to remember to cast it before combat starts.
No, the joke being that they were your teacher. So anyways, you can make your way over there. They clearly have a bead on you, and they're following you guys, tracing you with your eye as you're making your approach. But then they also seem to have an eye on the others that are filtering in. This is not an ambush that they're surprised by. They actually see it coming in. And so as they realize like everybody's filtering in, they all immediately take to start making the way backtracking towards one of the tunnels. And there are three of them that are out there. So the three of them link up almost like back to back to back and start like backing up towards the tunnels. Two of them actually have a bow in hands, as in like a bow and arrow in hand. One of them has a sword in hand as they're making their way back towards the tunnels, seeing whether or not this is an attack that's happening. Again, sloppy tactics. So they noticed it almost immediately. The drop down from where you are to where you need to be is only 20 feet. So you can make an acrobatics and a jump check to reduce that fall. It's DC 15 for both.
Does jump exist in this? No, it doesn't.
Then it would be athletics doesn't exist.
I think acrobatics just is jump.
Oh, that sucks. So the way it used to be was you could do an acrobatics to tumble and a jump to plan your jump, kind of like doing like a hang and fall. But anyways, that's fine. So I'll just have you do acrobatics twice.
Okay, I'm okay with that because I have good acrobatics.
Wow, exact same number. So more or less the way it works is kind of like you look over, you're like, all right, I'm going to drop down there. Now, when you drop down, do you drop down to the far side of the arena from where they are? Or do
I
you
drop
wanna...
down as close as possible over to them, and I'll literally like yell at them, be like, "Hey, don't you run away! Get back over here!"
And then that's when you kind of like look and you do like the hop down, but like when you hop
And
over.
and to make, do you know, I'll add even more. Shashik will also yell in incredibly offensive mock Elvish.
Okay.
He don't speak Elvish.
No, I mean,
He don't even really know what Elvish sound like.
okay.
So he's just gonna make noises.
It'd be like what's that? Peter Griffin speaking Italian.
Yes,
Bobbity boopy, boobity bobbity boobity boobity bobby.
that's kind of what I was imagining. Yeah.
And he actually gets in the argument. That's a good episode.
Anyways, so when you do the hop over, it's one of those kind of like you hop up and then you like roll off and hang for a second and then you drop and tumble to get in there. Shashik is not the most graceful of people, so he does this like land. It's like like stands up afterwards, and he takes no damage from the 20-foot fall, but there he is. And they're like
Function over form.
with you kind of doing that and then calling out in Elvish and whatnot. I won't lie, it actually throws them off by a little bit. Like they're like, wait, we thought this was an ambush, then somebody calls out to us, so maybe they're looking to talk. No, wait, now he's just speaking nonsense. What the hell is happening? So one of them is actually going to call out to you as you stand up and like kind of like, ugh.
Swords. Yeah.
As you stand up, they're like, what's this about?
Just come over here and we can have a conversation about it. Like, just like walking over.
Gestures no to the other two, and they continue backing up into the tunnels. So I imagine, Shashik, do you like then break into a sprint after them? Or do you,
It would definitely be one of those, in Civil War, where it's a walk and then it becomes a jog and then it becomes a run. See, here's the thing. I want to make an intimidate to try and make them stop moving, but I can't think what it would be, aside from maybe like just a straight up like scare them stiff kind of check, Like
Yeah,
just,
it's like, don't you walk away from me.
yeah, like, yeah.
Go ahead. You can try. What are you gonna say though?
I think it's not even word.
You don't get the -4 because of the distance. So,
but then counteract it. Oh yeah, exactly. I don't get the +4.
Yeah. So what do you say? My apologies.
It's not even a thing I say. It's just like Shashik just starts on the run and just starts like growling and roaring. Just like the beast.
Okay.
You know how it is.
The beast.
The beast is unleashed.
So you start making your way, like you just said, like running towards them, with like a bit of a growl to give them almost like a pause. And you do actually, you throw them off just enough. Like it's one of those things, you're just trying to be off-putting enough, make somebody kind of trip up, and that's exactly what you do. Is you get them to trip up just enough that you go rushing in after them. And so we're gonna roll for initiative now, and you're gonna kind of half the distance between you and them before the initiative roll actually takes place.
You know what? That's kind of par for the course. That's a bad initiative roll. That sucks.
1 second, sorry.
Oh, I'd also add, kind of while I was running, I'd also cast biofeedback. Can I cast biofeedback at second level now? Or second PowerPoint edge? I think so. So I would do that like as I'm walking up, just like strengthen my body.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do all the buffs, how it is.
So this comes up to just get my numbers inside here really quickly. This was a...
Casting biofeedback at second augment doesn't leave me with a lot of power. I am not a full psionic wizard person like old Ina.
Okay, so the first person that gets to go is, so like I said, there's 3 elves that are there, and one of the elves, actually kind of like the one that you were semi-communicating with, is one that gets to go first. And so as you break out in your sprints,
I will, Scott, perhaps this fight should start after our first break.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea. So go take a pee, a poo, do what you got to do. I'm gonna get myself another tea because I'm tired. So I'll see you all shortly. Bye. All right. Welcome back. Part two. It starts off with Ollie. Thank you for that suggestion of a break. It was
I'm just
brilliant.
keeping you honest, man.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I'm 7'3" and 180 pounds. So you go charging across the battlefield, and the one that you had almost had words with you before. He actually is the one that gets to act first, and so immediately, and this is actually the one that has the sword out as opposed to having the one of the bows out. Mm-hmm. Immediately, he gives the order to them, says something to them in Elvish, but you don't speak Elvish, do you?
It's going by the Warhammer rules of the person in the squad with ranged weapons who has a melee weapon. They're clearly in charge.
Yeah. Yes, of course. So so he actually is going to rush forward to meet with you.
Yeah. Civil War.
The other two are going to continue backtracking out. So he comes rushing forward to meet with you. Like I said, though, you half the distance between you and them. There's no way he'd be able to rush up to you and attack you, aside from the fact that this is an elf. Yeah. And elves in the Tablelands, they're the desert runners. They are faster than what should be legal. You know what I mean? Like they move so quickly.
They get speeding tickets.
Yeah. I'm walking here. So sorry, my bad jokes make me happy.
No, I'm walking here is always a good joke.
So he comes rushing up to you, and it's one of those, like, as he comes rushing up to you and raising his sword as he goes, you kind of like smile. I imagine Shashik's face is growing as he comes to attack at you, and so he comes darting at you and is going towards your left flank, right, heading in that direction. And as he goes to swing the sword that way, almost in the instant, like the blink of an eye, he flips around the other way and attacks you in the other direction. But whether or not you can trace that is a good question. Roll for me a sense motive check.
Ooh, look at that. Actually, I have an okay sense motive. It's clearly one of those things I put points into character creation, not really knowing how Pathfinder worked.
That's fine. You actually did well. So you actually did really well. I rolled a 17. No, my apologies, a 16. And so I was like, oh, okay, the likelihood of low wisdom Ollie catching this is pretty. You beat it. You overcame
Being a terror boy.
Well, I'm going to say right now, it's actually good because there's so many people who make their character, they have a high bluff and no sense motive, so they can lie through their teeth. However, if someone lies to them, they have no
Mike Martin. What?
Yeah.
Every character ever made by Mike Martin. Oh, jeez. Except for Thunk. So you he comes rushing up and tries to feint you. However, you actually catch it. So
as you try and use my move that I never remember to actually use.
Sticky wicket.
So as he does the darts left and switch around to the right, you like see it. You just barely see it, like the shift of the weight in the hips. That you're like, oh, you cheeky bastard, and you like swing your defense to the other side. He does not get a feint off on you, and so I'm gonna make my attack roll.
This is actually the first fight since I leveled up.
And Shashik, I beat the AC on. There we go. My apologies. Nope, I beat the AC of a 14. What's your AC?
17.
Jesus. Now. So because he didn't.
And you're the one who gave me 2 different armors in the last 2 different episodes.
It didn't work because unfortunately, again, the flank didn't work. So the feint, my apologies, didn't work. So AC of 14 is all I beat. So he wheels around, swings at you. You're actually able to fend off the attack. He moved up to make that attack. He can make no more. That's his turn. It's now your turn. He's immediately in front of you.
Hey, I'm going to do the exact same thing he did. I'm going to use 2-weapon feint. I'm going to shirk my first attack.
What is 2-weapon feint?
The feet.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
So I'm literally going to do the exact same thing he's going to do.
Dave,
Ollie, I literally thought you were just taking the piss. You're just making.
No, I'm literally.
I'm like, what the fuck is 2-weapon?
I've never heard of it before. Dave, have you heard of this one?
No.
I was so glad when I found it because Shashik, when I built him, was built around fainting, but it's just never worth doing it. But now it is.
Wow, that's so amazing, and your bluff check is so good. Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah, we haven't had a melee fight since we've leveled up. I've only ever been using my bow.
I got an 11. So yeah, you fate me pretty hard. Holy
And then
shit!
I'm gonna devastating touch with the second one, although minus a 1 from the to hit because this is usually my main attack.
Yep. Have any of the viewers ever heard of two-weapon fate? Because I've never heard of it before. So this is the funny thing is this is a touch attack. However, because you fainted, you deny them the dexterity to AC, so it's a flat-footed attack. It's a flat-footed touch attack. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So
I told you I built Shashik around a purpose.
It's crazy.
His AC is what, a 10?
Yeah, because there's no penalties to it, right? So it's just a 10, a flat 10.
Roll my damage real quick.
Yeah.
Which is also higher because we leveled up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but you roll crap damage. But that's crazy to know that when you do
the
that,
7 untyped damage, we take that.
to most people, when you do that, all you have to do with the devastating touch is to roll a 4 or higher because your chance to hit's a 6, right? Like, it's like, okay, well, I have an 85% chance of success. It's crazy. All right, so anyway, 7 points of damage is still something. So you reach out, you grab them, you touch them. Can you still trigger one of your abilities? Swift action, right?
Yes, I can, because it's a swift action. It's actually a good point, Scott. Considering I've already used a bunch of stuff, I think I will use... let me just check. I'll use Insight Fear. My other one makes them run away, which is the opposite of what I want to do. Will save or shaken. This guy's the big boss. I probably might as well fear him a
All right,
little
so
bit.
will save or shaken?
And it's the one that gets worse.
And what's the DC for it? Because for some reason it didn't pop up.
10 plus, so it's a 12. It's not very
Plus
high.
your charisma modifier. Wait, 10 plus
Oh,
half your
plus charisma modifier, in which case it's a 15.
15? Okay. I got a 16, so I not shaken for the 1d4 rounds.
I'm fine with that.
Unfortunately, sorry. So,
No problem, really.
all right, so that was your first attack. You get your second attack.
No, that I took 2-weapon feint. I used the feint as my first attack.
Oh,
So
I
that was
understand.
essentially my offhand attack.
You can forego your first primary. Understand. Cool, thank you. Again, not familiar with the feat, and I totally didn't read it.
Yeah, it's
It says it right there, though, and I just didn't read it.
it's perfectly in character.
Yep.
I like.
Thanks. So that was a
I
cute
meant the
insult.
ability for me, not
It's a
that
cute
you don't
insult,
know.
Ollie. Thanks. No. So after that,
You
after
wanted
Shasha
that
goes-
to be an insult.
After that goes the two elves who continue backing up and get themselves almost completely to the tunnels. So they're almost to where they have cover for the tunnels. Now, if they had double moved, they definitely could have gotten there. And they definitely don't move as quickly as you would expect. How explosively fast this guy came to you. They're moving more like a normal person does because they're just like,
They're backing
up. Yeah. But they do knock and fire arrows up into the crowd as well. Now, there is a D8. Dave, could you roll me a 1D8 and choose a number before you roll it?
Okay. Sure. Oh, God.
What number are you, Dave?
4.
Okay.
See, 7 people. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yep. So then they're going to take their shots and...
Poor random dude.
All right, so the first guy gets hit with an arrow. It's not the one with the crossbow, so that's good news. He gets hit with an arrow, and he just fucking lays him flat. Just kills him. Arrow shoots him in the chest.
What are you gonna do?
The second guy also gets hit with an arrow. It's the guy with the crossbow. This one gets shot in the leg, like right above the knee. And so he kind of like, and like falls to a knee. But it's like, he's still up and like levies the crossbow, crossbow down like he's about to, fire with it. But then another arrow comes up and hits him square in the forehead. And then he drops as well.
Well, he wasn't going to be an adventurer anymore anyway.
Yeah. Oh. And then the other guy, the one that shot the first arrow, lobbies off an arrow into the arena as well, like up into the stands as well, and misses the next shot. So 2 of the people that were traveling up there with you, Einar, have dropped. Nobody attacked you. That brings us to the first group of people's turns. So out of them, that is... All right, so the guy that dropped the crossbow, he's dead, of course. Another person comes running over and hoists the thing up and kind of like levies it off and tries to take a shot down. However, the shot down that they try to take is going to be over at where lending Ollie an assist. You know, this is actually the one that like likes Ollie. He's like, all right, I'm gonna help him out, and like fires over into melee combat, which we all know how well that works. So
I basically told them to do it. To be fair.
Yep. Hold on. Okay, so firing into melee combat imposes a -4 penalty to the attack roll. Unfortunately, he did miss. Fortunately, he didn't miss by so much. He had a chance of hitting Shashak. But it is one of those things where the crossbow bolt misses, and it's like one of those moments in combat where you're like, blocking an attack, and you see it like less than a foot away from you. Like, yeah, you notice that. The other person, because there's only one other person acting in his turn, he is making his way down to like where the actual ledge is. So he's like at the ledge there, and he's gonna fire with a bow down towards the elves with the bows. So he is going to make that attack.
Go, my minions. Mortimer has minions. I have minions.
Unfortunately, his attack missed the elf as well. It was literally as the arrow was fired, the elf like saw the trajectory of it before it even like left the bow, and like just took an easy, comfortable step to the side, and it landed in the ground and like skittered off from there. But then the person, because now the elf clearly has like a beat up of that person, they go and just drop, like free action drop prone. So
Fair.
Full cover behind the wall.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
Next is going to be the rest of the goodies that are the ones that are on your team. So that was my apologies. 1, 2 plus 2 dead. So this is the 1, 2, 3. They are all just going to kind of like volley a single attack over at the elf because they have the whole group. So. And actually they hit. So what it is like more or less between like the 3 different arrows in a shot, like one of them misses, one of them like very narrowly misses, but which makes it so the third arrow actually hits the guy and hits him for enough damage to kind of like, clip into his side because the elves aren't wearing any armor.
Is this the one with the sword?
This is no, one of the 2 archers in the back. Clips him in the side so it actually like hits him but doesn't, hurt him particularly badly. This gets us to Einar's turn. Einar, I imagine that you had positioned yourself kind of following along with Shashak the whole while. So when it comes to like the length of the arena, they were going out the far side. You're about 2/3 along the length of the arena from where you can do your summon. And what is the range?
All right. The summon is short. So how far am I away?
So if you include, so it's 20 feet to the ground, just so you know. Between you and where Ollie is, about 60 feet plus the 20 feet down. And from where Ollie and the people across the way are, so from Ollie to the actual other 2 elves, about another 50 feet. So about 110 to the 2 archery elves.
Much bigger than I thought the place was.
Oh, the arena's huge.
All right, so instead of summoning a dude, I am one of the archery dudes, the one that killed Crossbow Man specifically. I am going to ego with him.
Ooh.
Which has at my level 150 foot range.
Wow.
So make me a save.
It's a charisma save? No. Will save. Sorry.
Will save DC 18.
Will save charisma damage. That makes sense.
Yeah. I get a 11 and 11. My apologies. So I fail horribly.
So he takes 3 points of charisma damage and he is stunned.
What's the damage to for if you critical hit?
No, the second damage is if I do the next level.
Oh, level up. Yeah, my apologies.
If I put 7 points instead of 3.
Nope, I understand. So he takes 3 points of
points.
charisma damage. That's an ouchie, and aren't they also dazed for a round? So they lose their turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So awesome, thank you. That's their turn. This brings us to the elf that's charged across the way to Ollie.
And I take cover if there's cover available, or drop prone, whatever.
We've got the railing more or less.
Yeah, so cover prone something.
Okay, so this guy is actually going to feint at you again, Ollie, because they can do so as a move action. So
okay. Sense motive.
Yep, go right ahead.
I'll take a 16.
See, he's good at bluffing. He actually has a good bluff check. But
Sad
unfortunately, I can't roll double digits. So
we all have those days.
So you actually beat the sense motive again. I don't get to your touch AC. Sorry, your
It's
flat-footed AC
this
again.
time, like he did it I did it to him. And especially because it's even worse, because when Shashik does it, he doesn't even go in with a blade with the second attack. He just kind of like touches the back of the guy's neck. Does like the fear thing. So when he like dodges the second feint, he's just like, come on now, you're better than this.
So you do the come on now, you're better than this. It's a taunt. And it's actually a taunt that almost has you like eating your words, because he actually does deliver a blow with his sword, and he has his sword, just so you know, is an elven thin blade. So he so he actually attacks with the sword, and he is going to hit you for 7 points of damage with the first attack.
Roll a d4, please. On a 4, he doesn't hit.
Oh, you bastard. I'll let you roll the 1d4, actually.
You know what?
I like that.
Oh, they changed how you roll dice now in Roll20. That's real interesting.
Just /R.
No, I know, but like if you actually go to the dice roller on the side, it's
Why is there a button that says fudge? That's frightening.
Oh well.
All right, he hits. Still, I have resistance.
Nope, that's fine. So 7 points of damage, and does it -2, right? Because you have your
-3 because I did it at second.
Awesome.
So 4 damage. Which...
So you say 4 points of damage, and because you took damage, you have to make a concentration check.
I was just checking if either of these are concentration.
No,
it's
Scott. So concentration works entirely different in Pathfinder. Concentration.
I was just checking because yours explicitly say it. Like
yeah, but when you take a hit, you still have to make concentration checks. So
neither of these are concentration, I think.
But no, neither are concentration. So never mind.
Scott, remember, concentration in Pathfinder takes your entire turn. You can do unlike 5th edition, which you just kind of like tag on concentration. You have to spend doing nothing but concentrating in Pathfinder. So it's very obvious when someone's concentrating.
I literally was just thinking because I saw said concentration. Like, I don't think I have any concentration.
If you want to concentrate on a spell, like literally, Scott, say I had a spell, a concentration spell, I'd be like, what do you do on your turn? I concentrate. That's it. I can't do anything else. I'm concentrating.
Concentration checks are also for things like when you're in the middle of casting a spell and you take a hit and so on and so forth.
But unless someone is actively concentrating on something, attacking them won't cancel spells.
For some reason, I was thinking that one of his 2 abilities, the
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was.
one.
In 5th edition, I bet it would have been.
I have another spell.
There's also it's actually move action concentration is usually how it goes in 3rd edition Pathfinder, as opposed to full round action or standard action.
Nope.
Yeah. Like, for instance, moving a fireball is a move action concentrate to move the
I guess okay, but I mean, it's actually really hard to make it so a concentration check is not a standard action.
But you are not wrong when it comes to the damage aspect. You are not wrong.
Yeah.
So moving on with you don't have to worry about that, Ollie. You're good.
No,
he hits you. The second attack actually also hits you, but this one is a bit more devastating of a blow. He actually hits you.
Is it?
Oh.
It
looked like a 4.
11, which -3 is 8 points of damage.
Ollie, where's this 25% mischance coming from?
From Concealing Amorpha, which is essentially similar to... There's another spell.
Like a mirror image sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's
20... Oh, it's a 20% mischance.
It's a 20%. So you should be rolling d10s.
Okay.
And we'll say a 9 or a 10.
You know what? Just for the sake of
the second
cleanness, I'll allow you to re-roll both of them, actually.
Okay.
So,
9-10.
9-10, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
It's D&D, we might as well go highest.
Yep.
That's fine.
I like to be obnoxious and call different numbers every time.
I have been told off by players who aren't massive RPG nerds for doing that, so now I try to...
Scott, it's funny how you said that, because I was like, that's how Scott always does it. He always just like, I choose 3 and 7.
In my homebrew system, there's like, sometimes you want higher, sometimes you want lower, and they were like, stop this. Stop it all. And I'm like, okay.
Yep. No, it's random every time, right? So, all right. Anyways, moving on. So you, that is his turn. Now it's your turn. My apologies.
Okay.
It's funny at 20% on a D10. It feels more likely because it could be 2 numbers.
Yeah.
It's a bigger dice. I'm gonna do the exact same thing back.
It also rolls better. Like a D4 rolls like crap. My dad and I actually had a conversation about this. I think on Halloween. And he's like, I hate the D4. He's like, not only were they solely created just to make you step on them in the middle of the night and fucking hate your children, but on top of that, they roll like garbage. And I was like, no, they roll pretty well.
There's 2 different ways to print a D4. So like when those ones are like, oh, I had a 4. Oh no, wait, it's the other way around. Great, just more confusing.
Unless you get like the crystalline type or yeah. So anyways, so I'm sitting there like rolling the die. Like this rolls pretty well. He's like, do you look at what you're doing? I've been playing D&D for fucking, I don't even know how many years, right? Like, it's been over 20 years I've been rolling dice. And my dad's still sitting there giving me a lesson, like, it's just dancing. And literally, you roll the die, and it's like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Like, it's done rolling before it hits the table. I'm like...
It only feels right if you're rolling multiple D4s.
Yeah.
Which luckily in D&D you usually are.
And that's just like watching, like, a Russian ballet. Like, oh, look at the pretty little things flittering about. So anyways, your bluff check of 15. Let me see if I can beat that.
Yeah, it's pretty poor. We'll see.
I cannot roll double digits.
Woo-wee!
For my skill check so far. And you can.
Yeah.
And you can.
That. See, it rolled very high dice.
Same damage twice.
With
That's
a
fine.
crit. As always. But 7 untyped damage, consistency. We take that.
Are you going to frighten him?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna do that again because I think that's a good idea. Yeah. The other one makes him run away.
Scott, if I could just be, were you applying the -2s to his attacks because he's shaken?
He wasn't shaken.
Oh, did he succeed?
Yeah, he saved the
Last time he
first.
succeeded, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
However, this time he does fail.
You daze someone else.
This time he actually does fail, and it's because that -4 ability that you have for being within 10 feet of you, it just pushes him so he misses it by 2. So,
nice. Let's see if I can do... How injured does this guy look?
Not very. You've only hit him for 14 damage.
So I'm gonna considering that attack hurt, I am going to cast Untouchable Aura as a move action.
Wow.
I never cast it as a move action. I literally was looking at it now and like, oh, it's a move action.
You
Okay.
gotta love the action economy. And the crazy part is, it's also a fear-based ability. So DC of 14 is like, fuck off, I'm actually an 18. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So this is the one where they more or less have to make a save to even choose to
It's
attack
basically Sanctuary.
Yep,
It's the one I
that's what I
always
thought.
use
Okay,
as a reaction because I can use
what I
Sonic Focus to use it as a swift action.
Perfect. So now it's the archers. The archers are gonna go take a shot, except for the one that you had just hit with your ego whip. They look over at you, Einer, and they see that you're there, and they're gonna knock an arrow, and they're gonna draw. And they're gonna
All right,
fire at
well,
you.
I dropped prone, took cover, so my AC is 23. Good luck.
Wait, you like legit drop prone?
I said I take cover, drop prone, and whatever I need to do to...
Two different options: take cover or drop prone. Prone gives you full total cover, like you are on the ground. There's a wall between you and them.
All right, then I would have dropped prone.
They cannot attack you, which is very frustrating for them. And instead they choose to attack other people. So let me make those attack rolls.
Isn't one of them dazed?
Oh shit, that one was dazed anyways. Good call.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way you described it. So
let me reset this. Hold on. There we go. All right. So the he does actually take another shot. The other guy, not that one, does take another shot, and the person that had picked up the crossbow beforehand, so the one that actually got nicked by the crossbow, he actually levels a shot and hits the person that is now holding the crossbow, the one that Ollie was having a conversation with beforehand, hits him in the shoulder, his non-primary arm, and then takes a second shot against the same guy and misses at the second shot. So that person's still up. There's still the same number of people on the side. That brings us back to the people's turns. They're gonna start taking like making actions to get down there as well. So first of all, the crossbow guy is gonna fire back, reload, and then reloading a crossbow is what, a move action, so they can actually fire this turn. So holy shit. Okay, I actually rolled a critical hit with a crossbow, which does D10 damage, and the first roll was 10. So that is a lot of damage.
Good job, crossbow guy.
That's a lot of damage with the crossbow. So the second elf, the one that that had already taken like a bit of a nick beforehand from the crossbow, takes a full-on bolt to the chest, throws him backwards, and he did. So he's not doing nothing. And the other elf, who would have completely retreated into the tunnels, unfortunately is dazed. Because he was dazed and he couldn't retreat into the tunnels. The other one also didn't retreat into the tunnels and stayed with the dazed guy, which left him exposed, which is why he took the attack. So more or less,
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, when Dave fucked him up.
I definitely planned for an NPC to have a crit and turns the tide.
The rest of those people are then going to make their way over to the arena itself, and they're going to do like Shashak did, and they're going to drop off of the wall into the arena.
Oh, no, I made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 20 feet drop. That could
so
just
one
kill
person
you.
made their check, so they take only 1d6 damage. The other two failed, and so 3 out of the 4 go down there. So the other 2 failed, and they take 2d6 damage. One of them died.
I was gonna say someone's crunching. I was so ready for it, and I'm upset.
The one that took 1d6 damage took 6. The one that took 2d6 damage took 4, which is funny. So yeah, they all got really hurt.
But you know what that is? That's stars without number. That's right. There.
Okay, first of all, I wouldn't if
I'm gonna climb down a slope. Dead.
if there was a chance for me to just instantly die, I don't think I would have jumped.
Well, you're not
I
an
made
NPC
it
though, right?
So they're like, Arr.
You're like, oh, he did it. Yeah, this is real.
There was actually
They got caught up
post
in the moment.
on D&D Reddit about this, about how commoners only have 1 hit die, and it's like, oh, stub my toe. If I stub my toe again, I'm dead. Like,
No, I love how if an NPC rolls poorly, a cat does 1d2 minus 1. So like a cat could just like straight up kill a full-grown man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just rip
Cat
his throat
scratch
out.
fever. No. So you the other one, so the last remaining of them, he's the one that kind of like moved down and had the bow set up. He's going to knock an arrow and fire over at the one that's currently dazed, and so he attacks him, and despite being dazed, still misses horribly. That is now brings us to Einar's turn.
Okay, I'll get up. That same guy who's dazed.
So you kind of like get up, look around, you look down, you see like, oh,
you see one
my
dude
hip!
crunch
Ah!
his legs.
Oh, I just looked down as all the bodies fall. They're like, ow, 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 crunch. All right.
That's definitely like, you're like, ooh, you hear that.
I look over to that one guy. Stay right there. Will save. DC 18.
Okay, same thing.
DC 18.
DC 18.
Wow. I mean, I guess we are level 5 in Pathfinder.
He's had that since like level 1. He failed.
Yeah, but DC 18.
Yes. Hold on a second. Let me roll my damage.
We didn't start
That's
it.
powerful.
2.
So 5
Total
charisma.
Total 5. It's the ego damage. I don't really. I mean, the charisma damage is not going for. It's the daze.
Yeah, of course. And so he's still dazed, unfortunately. That brings us back to the elf boss's turn.
Who is shaken?
Who is? Oh, thank you for reminding me. Who is shaken?
I know you.
He is going to faint again. Oh no, sorry. He actually he can normally faint as a move action. He had the ability to twice faint as a swift action, which is why he was able to attack you twice afterwards. Unfortunately, I've already used both those, so I only get 1 attack after fainting you instead of 2. So I'm just going to try to faint. Make me your sense motive check. See if this fucking works. If not, I'm going to abandon it after this.
Nope.
It's getting, my sense motives are getting worse and worse every time.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you have a chance.
And now I roll a natty 20.
Oh yeah, you know,
fucking kidding me?
on the attack that you need.
Are you
No.
kidding me? So I got one NPC got a critical hit, and this guy critically succeeds something that was otherwise easy. Wonderful. So he succeeds bluffing you, and so you don't. Yours is just your flat-footed AC, which I think is like a 14 or a 13.
It's actually pretty good. It's a 14. But first of all, if he wants to attack me, he needs to make me a will save.
Oh fuck! And it's fear-based. Shit. Oh, and it's a DC 18. God damn it!
And he has minus 2s because on top
God
of that.
damn it!
So it's a DC
so it's-
20.
Yeah. So it's what's your DC naturally?
14.
And 14
DC
plus
-2, -4 is a minus.
Yep.
Oh god, and those minuses stack too. Like, god damn it.
Yeah.
I went
It's
to roll a
almost
9,
like-
roll a 19.
I figured out how to play this character after so long.
I rolled a natural 4.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't have even mattered anyway.
It doesn't attack you. Okay, you go, god damn it. I'm like, sweet, I flanked you. So I fainted you, and you're like, yeah, that's nice. So he does feint in, he comes in for the attack, but literally as he sees the opening and he goes to make the attack, and you actually have that like moment of surprise, and you look down at the attack for a moment of surprise. He doesn't perceive it as surprise. He sees it as almost like a vicious glee, like a head hit me, like almost like a masochistic. I love this, and it fucking shakens him, and he doesn't deliver the blow. Next is
Good description.
Shashik.
So I'm just checking. Does Dazed give any kind of debuff to defense? No, not Dazed. Shaken. That's
No. It's all saving throws, attack rolls.
Armor is this guy wearing? Oh, you said they were kind of like leathers and hides and things. So I'm actually just gonna go for 2 attacks this time.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that he's an elf. He's wearing light armor. Most of his AC is coming from Dex, which
It's attack, saving throws, skill checks, ability checks.
In which case, it's still worth fainting, just because it takes from his AC.
even if you assume if he has like a 20 Dex, which is not unheard of, that's 5 AC you could be circumventing.
Yeah. No, that's just me not thinking about Pathfinder. Yeah.
Here's something crazy. Right below it, sickened applies to damage rolls.
Because it like weakens the thrust. Nobody likes a weakened thrust. I can't even beat that. Like if I rolled a natural 20, I cannot beat that bluff check. I'm not even gonna roll.
All right, I'm just gonna keep on devastating him. I
can't even beat that guy.
Why are you? Are you just to fuck with him because he's doing it to you?
What?
I mean, we're just talking about it because it basically lowers his defense because he's a dex.
But I mean, you're using touch attacks.
Yeah, but touch attacks
because it does the
dexterity
most damage. It straight up does the most damage of all my.
I guess they are elves.
Yeah. He has a high. That's what I was just saying.
Oh, critical hit.
Okay, and you confirmed.
Oh.
Because you are circumventing most of his AC with your fainting.
Come on, this game hates you, Ollie.
This game is not. It's not happy with crits. But you know what? 15. That's the last 2 turns.
I'm just saying, like you rolled only 3 less on a normal hit.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that was literally a devastating touch. He's still standing, but barely. Like he is not doing well. This is like a perfect.
Just so you know, Dave. Like, because I'm a 2-weapon fighter, like. That devastating touch is 1d6 plus 6 now because I got feats. Yeah, all my other attacks are like a d6.
No. I'm saying what I'm arguing is that touch attacks. Their whole thing is that they have a much easier chance to hit. You use feints to lower. You know, usually use feints because you just when you're normally hitting, you're already having a huge bonus to hitting anyway because
you're just doubling it up.
Yep.
Yeah, because armor is meaningless against a touch attack.
Yep, and now he's making the dex meaningless too. Exactly. So, Ollie, this is important. Could you roll me a d4, please? You want to roll anything but a 1.
Well, that's what he got.
Okay, so the reason why it's important is because when you did a devastating touch last time and he failed to save and got shaken, it lasts for 1d4 rounds. So it applied to this round. So he's not going to be shaken next round unless you also do a devastating touch right now. I'm saying devastating, you know what I mean, sight fear.
Yeah. Let me just look at the
Hi,
other
Caitlin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, considering how we're controlling the battle, I will actually put Terrified Escape on instead.
You're on camera.
You're on Canted Camera? Or however that song went. So anyways, will save.
Same will save. Just makes them flee.
Oh.
The next turn.
Oh.
That's why I wasn't using it in first place, because we wanted to keep them here, but now that their elves over there are mostly dead.
Okay.
I'm okay with chasing.
Oh, fuck. And I have a -6 to my save.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. And the DC is 10 plus 3 plus 2 is 15, so the DC is effectively a 21. Fuck. Yeah, I don't make that. So on his next turn, he's going to run away? Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, it's the elves' turn. One's dazed, the other one's dead. It's the other people's turn. The one with the crossbow that took the hit but is still standing there, he's going to fire at the dazed elf just to try to like shoot and kill the thing. Reloads the crossbow, fires
Like
the crossbow.
elves in an arena.
Of course. Oop.
Come on, NPCs, help me out here.
And
They already got a crit. I don't know if
he hits him. He hits him, but I rolled minimum damage, so the elf is still standing. The 3 on the ground slowly start to stand up and start trying to hobble their way across the battlefields to join in with Ollie, but they're just hobbling and don't get there quite fast enough. And then the one that had the actual bow on the next initiative, he's going to fire a shot at the elf as well.
Come on, hit.
God, this guy's useless. He misses.
Oh, you're useless.
Consistently. All right, it's Einer's turn. Einer, you didn't drop prone this time, so you actually got to watch the entire round.
Okay. Goddamn. Jeez. If I run around, staying up in the stands, can I get within 35 feet of that elf? I don't think
The
so.
one that's dazed?
Yeah.
No. You can definitely.
It's not a circle either. It's
oblong, right? So so if you double move, you can be for next turn.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna spend my turn double moving and making my way over there.
Making my way downtown. All right.
I'm not gonna jump to my death like all these other guys.
no, yeah, don't. That's stupid.
I thought you had an ability to absorb. Don't you have the ability to have DR, Dave?
I mean, I could take that as a spell, just like
Would
all
you have Catfall?
I mean, I could take those as spells if I wanted
So
to.
no. I thought you had abilities like that already.
No, I mean, Scion, their abilities are they can cast Detect Magic at will, and they have spells.
No, I thought you would use something similar in the past or
Oh,
mentioned
no,
something
no,
before.
no.
So Ollie, he turns and runs away because your fucking ability, and you get an attack of opportunity against him because of it. I imagine with your touchy.
Yeah,
attack.
it's just ever since I got the feat as my bonus to it, it's just not worth not doing it. But I suck.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does not hit. I mean, it's a touch attack, so there's no chance of harming a weapon or anything like that, which is good news. So you're not gonna break a weapon.
Break a finger.
He'd probably just pop it back. He's probably just like, hold on. I've done that before. He's like, I do that when I'm alone. Wait, never mind. So you miss with your touch attack, and his turn is literally turning and full on running away. And because he's explosively fast, he easily gets back to where the other elf is still dazed. And so he kind of like goes up to the elf, and like as he runs up, it's like a slap in the face sort of a thing. Shashak, it's your turn.
So they're fast, so I would have to double move to catch up with them, I assume.
And not be able to make an attack, correct.
I'm fine with that because I have all my buffs on.
Oh,
So
actually, if you charge attack, you can.
How do charge attacks work?
+2 chance to hit, -2 AC. It has to be in a straight line. It has to be at least 10 feet movement forward.
I think it's a time for a charge attack. I don't see any problem with that.
All right, there you go. There you go.
I would have charge feint. No, I'm just gonna.
It's kind of what he did to you.
If I can, I guess if you can charge attack, then double act. I guess there's no reason why not.
Well, because you can't. You can't because you require 2 actions, 2 attacks to feint, right? Because you forfeit an attack.
Because he uses.
Well, yeah, and you can only use a single attack after using a charge because
that's kind of what I assumed.
That's the ability Pounce.
Pounce or Sonic's Lion's Charge.
In which case,
Lion's Charge. Yeah, that's a spell. That's the spell that
Sonic
allows
ability.
you.
Yeah, fucking.
Effectively,
You know what?
to pounce.
Wade will get that. Round 8th level.
He actually that was an option for when he leveled up last as a spell to
Not worth it
take.
right now.
No, this is a different one, and it also sucks.
My apologies, Ollie. Like you said, you do charge forward.
I was gonna say I was tempted to go like, you know what? I'm gonna use a sword because this devastating touch is outstayed its welcome, and I should have switched it up.
Well, you charged at the guy. You get your +2 chance to hit from doing the charge attack. Unfortunately, as you go rushing in, he actually easily evades the attack. He does so in kind of a funny manner, though. Like I said, he ran up and kind of like tried to slap that guy in the face that's been dazed, like buddy snap out of it. But as you make the attack, he literally grabs the wrist of that person's arm and moves their bow in the way. to stop the attack. So it's like one of those, and that's how he breaks the attack up. It's the dazed guy's turn.
He's not dazed.
I know. And now Ollie's standing right in front of him. But he's got a bow in his hands. So that makes
Shouldn't have brought a bow to a slap fight.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's hence the whole idea of the slap was he was supposed to be the one that, like, that's what broke the deal.
I get it.
So he is going to. Actually, I could do old school shenanigans. He's immediately in front of you, Ollie. What he does is takes a free 5-foot step back, does not provoke an attack of opportunity, knocks an arrow, draws, and fires at you from 6 feet in front of you with a bow.
This is the bullshit they got rid of in 5th edition.
Melee. You know what?
The 5-foot step is such a load of horseshit.
No, 5-foot step was great for a lot of things. It was like it really was a good mechanic. But then there were things like this where you're like, really?
No, this is the fighter versus the archer. Fighter, archer, take a step back. Fire, fighter,
Step up.
fire, and then just like slowly inching away from him and just shooting him in the face.
It's just that's like, again, that's one of the niche things that's ridiculous. So he makes his attack against you, Ollie, and your AC is, I believe, is 17.
It would be a 15 because my AC went down.
That's right. And that's good because I rolled a 16. I was just gonna say, and he misses, sadly, but he actually hit you.
Gotta be honest.
And he does a whopping 4 points of damage, minus 3 equals 1 point of damage.
Shook, is your ability still up?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Roll D10, come on. I thought that was
But it's a 1 damage anyway.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay. Wait. Is
got
Sanctuary,
3 defensive
still
spells.
up, or is that only 1 round? 1 round per level?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I have to make a saving throw to see if I can even do that, and you're within 10 feet of him. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
And I failed it! He didn't even make the attack roll against you. You don't even take the 1 point of damage. God damn it. Alright, that's...
No, the other one is... so the untouchable... the guy with the bow, untouchable aura is melee attacks only. So I do take 1 point of damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I rolled that for nothing. Alright, well, at least I get some bad roll out of the way. So that next is going to be the other people's. So the one with the crossbow, now that you're engaged into melee again, he doesn't care. He's going to fire into melee.
Yeah.
He could hit the bow guy.
Also, he's not
We're
engaged
rolling melee now, more or less.
Yeah, we'll fire him because that's who he's been firing at the entire time. So, and he actually hit him.
Kill him.
He actually did enough health to drop him to exactly 0, which means he's still standing, but staggered. So he's still standing but staggered.
Right.
After that, the other peoples are still charging their way across the arena, trying to get there. The guy with the actual bow is going to try to take a shot at the one with the elf with the bow again.
Well,
Actually, he hits.
and he kills him then.
Yep, and so that solves that problem. The
Dang,
elf
good
with the
going,
bow drops.
NPC team.
There you go. And now it's going to be Einar. Einar, you are, because they both ran up. The boss person is right there in front of Ollie. He ran away. You don't know it was because Ollie made him run away, but you assume it's because he was trying to retreat the fight. And he's within 35 feet of you.
All right, so I will say, make me a wisdom save. I'm gonna use a mind thrust.
Like a good thrust. And he fails a save.
All right, so I'm gonna roll damage. Don't actually pay attention to the number that comes up because it's the full powered version. So we're actually only gonna count the first 2 dice because I put 2 power points into this. So it's 11.
Whoa! Oh god! There's no way to choose how much to do a reduced amount. Unfortunately,
What are you talking about?
there's no way to show a reduced amount of damage.
No,
without
especially with this.
Yeah,
But-
I'd have to go in and put. That's why I put separate damages on Ego Whip.
No, I assumed it's not smart like the 5e open gaming license one where it's like it asks you what level. Each
Oh yeah, that would be good. So it's 11 points of psychic damage.
Okay, and Ollie has already done to him 29 points of damage prior to that. That gets us up to 40 points of damage. So he is, funny enough, to say the same exact thing twice, also at 0 health and staggered. So at exactly 40 health. It's his turn.
Well, he can attack and fall unconscious. Like a warrior.
I'm just trying to think of the elfkin. He's gonna look to Ollie before anything else, and he just simply asks, "Why?"
Wrong place, wrong time.
Is this like the face of mercy to you?
Nope, that was a perfect response. He has nothing he could say against that, and so, he knows that the battle is over. He knows it's done. He's actually everybody else around him is dead. So he actually throws down his sword and falls to his knees.
Awesome. What action is it to just murder the dude?
I mean, honestly, you could just like coup de grace sort of a thing. So it's kind of like...
So the answer is standard action.
Standard action. Coup de grace.
Coup de grace is a full round action, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's one of those things where I like walk around him, be like, oh no, it's like almost as if I'm gonna let him live, and then just like.
Oh, you do it with a dagger. I thought you were going to like devastating touch, like fucking rack.
No, because I always have my weapons out, even if I'm not using them.
No,
So
I know. I just thought you did like the.
Nah, it's more satisfying to kill a man with a knife
than it is to like explode his brain with fear. You know what? I don't know which is more horrifying. Both are terrible. And so you coup de grace, and slit the throat, and he falls to the ground bleeding. The two that survived the fall finally finish hobbling their way up.
Hey.
And one of them is just like
out with the bow. His turn first.
They're all dead.
The one that's staggered, isn't he?
No, he was shot by the NPC archer afterwards. Yeah, they're all dead.
Yep.
Combat's over.
So the first NPC staggered and the second one hit and killed him.
I missed that.
So being a little bit more precautious, I mean, because everybody eventually gets down.
Now they don't need to do it in a 6-second increment.
Yeah. They eventually get down in a safe manner. The one that fell off and jumped off and died, one of the other ones goes over and takes his boots and takes like the rest of his stuff off.
Oh, I'm absolutely like immediately just like blood still pouring from the dude is picking up this elf sword.
Oh yes, Elven Thin Blade.
Elven Thin Blade. I need to remember what they do.
Not a court blade, but a thin blade.
But keep going on.
There was a third one too.
There's multiple of these because I remember looking at them when I made the character.
There's a thin blade, a court blade, and another one which I can't remember the name of it. It's bothering me. So anyway, so you pick that up after eventually everybody gets their stuff down. Blah blah blah. The guy comes up to you and he's like, "All right, so
Are you muted? Is it me? Does that happen?
Nope. He just
doesn't say anything.
He's like,
okay.
Like, what's next?
Shashik will just kind of like swoosh around the weapon.
How about a break? How about a break is next?
He's like, all right, a break, and he pulls out a Kit Kat. And
oh man!
Wow, that's old. That's old.
Yeah, I literally like, how about a break? And I kind of like pat myself, and I'm like, yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dark Sun, Part 3. Let's do this.
My internet nearly died for a second.
Yeah, I just said something that your connection is unstable.
Yeah, I got that too. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I guess Zoom's just shit in the bed then.
Yeah, that had to be Zoom.
Oh, as long as it's not my problem, then I'm fine.
Yeah, I didn't drop any frames. Not like when I was hosting Doxy's game and my internet just completely dropped. And I was like, well, it was literally the last. We can talk about this later. So let's go. So you guys, he looks at you like, all right. So more or less like, what's the plan?
I guess I'll light my lantern and start heading into the tunnels. Those peanut M&Ms.
Mm-hmm. You're not allergic to peanuts, are you?
No, I've been over this ad nauseum on my channel. How I think peanut M&Ms are the weakest M&Ms.
You are a monster.
I even have some here from Christmas because I got given a bunch of them at Christmas. I don't really like them, but I don't really want to throw them out. But they're definitely.
Oh, okay, Ollie. This is a tangent that we can't really afford to spend time on.
Okay.
What is your favorite M&M?
Crispy.
Those are good. They're good.
They are, but compared to peanut or pretzel, like you don't have
Peanut M&Ms are just the ratio isn't right. If they were tiny peanuts, I would be much happier.
Ollie likes small nuts, confirmed.
I like small nuts.
So moving on. You guys, more or less, like, what's the plan? Is what he's saying to you guys?
Yeah, I'll light the lantern and just start heading off into the tunnel.
Oh, so you just like lead the way?
Yeah, I see why not.
He's gonna look to Einer and be like, so welcome to the group.
I kind of glance back and I kind of look at some of the ones that are just crumpled on the ground back there and just be like, good to be here.
I'm gonna stop eating them because they're addictive and they're too crunchy. So,
all right, I'll look to Shashuk, and then I'll look back to the group. He's an exceptional scout. You should walk ahead of us a good 50 paces, and we'll fall behind. Does that work?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So basically, I because we're going to be going through tunnels, I suggest corner to corner. In other words, you go to a corner, see if it's clear. We follow. Dun, 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 dun.
Absolutely. It's one of the things because it's dark. That's why I have a lantern. I
have dark vision.
Well, exactly. I don't, right? But so I don't really want to stealth. I just want to move very carefully.
But it's not actually dark in here. They have.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah, my apologies. So
I just assumed it was because I assumed there were like tunnels under.
No, that is correct. But they actually have like spots where there's like splits in the ground and stuff like that, or like areas where like there's just enough of an opening that nobody would ever be able to get out. But two things can happen: one, light can get in, like light and air can get in, so like for survivability, and two, people could smuggle like drugs and shit like that.
Okay, if there's enough light to reasonably see by, then I would actually stealth ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for this, I'm going to summon as we head in. I'm going to summon a astral construct in utility mode, and he's going to come with us.
What size? What details?
The full size one.
Oh, the big beefy boy.
Yep, he's still medium size, but he's at the high levels of medium.
Sure. So you guys travel on for a bit, doing exactly this. Eventually, the guy's kind of like, "Hey, old guy."
Be honest, I'm in my full armor mode. I'm not. Maybe from my voice, you can tell I'm older, but
I described you as an old man before.
Oh, you did. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
So old guy. I stop. I turn to look at him.
This is boring as piss.
Why don't you guys walk ahead?
No. We're never gonna find nothing if we all stick together. We gotta split up. So listen, I'm gonna take these two, and we're gonna go down this tunnel over here. I'm gonna go look for stuff, and you two, he points to two other of his men. You're gonna go in that tunnel over there, and see if you find something. We'll all meet out back where we originally met, and we'll just split the loot from there.
All right. If something happens, scream like you're being shot with elven arrows.
That's funny. That's funny, he says. You know, kind of like unconsciously pats the bandaged up spot where he got shot with an elven arrow. and so they kind of break off from the two of you guys. Bye-bye, NPCs.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
now you specifically
Write them in, write them out.
You specifically know that what you're looking for is a tunnel that's supposed to get you to the sepulcher. But more importantly, the area that most likely, we were discussing this beforehand, the areas that most likely this end of the tunnel would come out from is the seating area where she sits in. I'll describe that again in a second. Or down in like the chambers where she can meet with the gladiators. But what's to say that the gladiators can't necessarily go up to where her own comfortable area is? Now, as a reminder to where that comfortable spot where she would watch the gladiatorial arenas from, I described beforehand, there's a huge arena, there's a chasm on one side, but the seats over there, and then there's the poor seats over here that have kind of like a balcony-esque way of looking at them to often have the sun in their eyes, because it was always during the daytime that these matches took place. She was actually set kind of farther back in the direction that you guys actually went towards and went into the tunnels. But, and I don't want to say a mountain, because that's a poor description, but like a very large rocky kind of hill that was set back in that area. She had, or it was believed, because you could never see her or the location from down in the arena area. Neither of you have ever been here anyways, but Mortifer knew beforehand that you wouldn't be able to see where that was because of the way it was constructed inside of like the rock itself. So there's likely a tunnel that exists between like the chambers down here where like the gladiators and whatnot would be and like the workers would be up to her area. As to where that chamber is, how it connects, that's going to be kind of like a other than just like searching the tunnels and hopes, you could do like a architecture engineering check to try to figure that out, or you can just say fuck this tactic and you can leave and just like walk up to that rocky mountainside and try to find yourself a way in like from the outside there.
I mean, I think we should look internally just because.
I think it's a good idea to look internally because either we can find the way to her area or, you know, the secret love den down here.
Okay. So why don't you roll me an architecture and engineering check to see if we can figure out.
I think it's a good idea. Let's, Ina, roll like an incredibly lucky roll, please. Yeah.
At least you're never RVing. You know what I mean?
Ian has made 2 characters recently that rely upon luck in their concepts, which is very funny.
The lucky feat or no?
Just the concept of luck.
But not using the mechanics of luck?
One of them. One was a divination wizard with lucky, so it's like, I will get good rolls no matter what.
Were they also a halfling?
No.
Oh, didn't go full Bill?
They didn't go full Bill Murray, but
yeah. I do not allow lucky at my tables after I had.
Lucky's hilarious.
I had an archer character who he just never missed. Period. Never missed.
That's a legend right there.
He had the sharpshooter feat and the lucky feat, and just because he was a fighter who could add to his rolls and shit, he just never missed.
Was he a battle master? So he got the precision. Yep. Yeah. Look, that's a great build. I have no problem with that. You just circumvent that with, you know, I have full cover. You can't hit me, you know, or
no, but with sharpshooter, I mean, but the idea is like, I mean, how often do creatures where I mean, people use cover all the time, but full cover, like not that often.
Well, you just did it. Drop prone.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
it's
just like people will use like really aggressive cover when they're fighting. They don't expect the sharpshooter just be like, I ignore your cover and just like thunk them in the head.
But anyways, so I'm curious what that character's weakness is and how you could exploit it. But we'll talk about that maybe after the session. So
their feelings.
With your 13 on the knowledge engineering check, it's one of those things where you think about it, and honestly, you're not confident in your own answer. You're more or less just like the way we're already going. You know, it's kind of like what you think of. So I imagine at one point in time, this Shasha kind of gets to a corner, looks about, he's like, all right, it's good. And he looks back and he waves forward for him to come forward. And you like wait until he's like halfway towards where you are before you go around the corner. And you notice it's just him and the big hulking construct. So you just hear like fucking loud, heavy clang, 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 clang. Yeah. But nobody else behind them. Everybody else has already disappeared. Do you say or do anything or just like shrug and keep going?
Yeah, it's just a shrug.
Okay.
And just keep on going.
Okay, cool. So, do me. Oh, you're
Well,
already
no.
going this.
When he shrugs, I'll glance back and I'm like, well, if we can hear their screams in the distance, at least we know that the elves are around that area.
Could you do me a favor and roll me a perception check, please, Ollie?
It's garbage rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only that because we need to give something for Jack to do next session to show up and look for things.
So you have a really good stealth check. It is very easy for you to move ahead, and at some points in time, because your plan is not to clear out the tunnels. Your plan is not to kill everybody here. Sometimes you'll hear people and just kind of like stop, and you'll like look and be like, okay, if you come quietly, we can get by. They won't notice. They're pretty distracted. Sometimes you're like, let's go a different way. Let's go a different way entirely. Like we don't need to make other people aware of what it is that we're doing, right? And so you continue along this path for a while, trying to figure a way to get to her chamber. Unfortunately, you try for, like I said, a considerable amount of time and cannot find your way. That down here is kind of like a maze, and none of you guys have any guidance as to what it's like. Maybe if you had someone that used to work here before, or something like that knows the tunnels well enough, but no. And honestly, any of the groups of people that you've seen, they don't seem like the type that would.
I was gonna say, if Shashik thought anyone who was here would actually know about secrets here, he would have probably, interrogated and tortured people.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you honestly, you cannot find your way to where you think it is. Sometimes you're like, I think I've been here before, but I'm not sure, or I've never been here before. And Einer's like, definitely we have. Like that. That's
it's after plodding around, just like, all right, think we should look from the outside.
Before you do that, though, you do eventually come to my apologies, the chamber where it's kind of like the showroom. You do actually encounter this. So by the showroom, what I mean is there's an area where the gladiators would go down, would be like kind of lined up. The room actually takes in a considerable amount of light, where the gladiators would be like freshly bathed, freshly oiled, greased up, put inside cleaner armor, clean weapons and whatnot, and be lined up. You would do this because sometimes other gladiatorial arenas from other city-states would come in and purchase them. If they have like a good track record, so on and so forth. Sometimes you purchase, you get to keep your namesake, so on and so forth. Sometimes you just became a new character, you know what I mean? But and they're like, oh, I'm investing in you as an underdog, and totally make money. So that sort of a thing exists. And you imagine this showroom is also where, if there was a place where she wanted to go and see them all lined up, the way that the light comes in, everything, it's designed to be something that showcases them in just a very appealing way, combatively and sexually, of course. So you come into this room. There's actually nobody inside it, but the room is big and empty. The only thing that's in here is corpses from the original escape from a long while ago. You actually find a dead Templar in here, surrounded by 4 other dead people. Which is kind of cool. It's like, ooh, dead Templar. Let me check. Oh, they've been looted. So this room catches your eye. If this was going to be something that you thought might be a sex chamber, this is the closest thing you found so far. I imagine you do a quick search around the room. You're welcome to do a perception check for me.
Yeah, might as well. I'd like to use detect hidden doors, please.
Hey.
So, funny enough, you actually do find something there, Einar. When you're inside the showroom, my apologies. When you're inside the showroom and you're looking about, you actually do see that there's a bit of a hidden chamber. So when you go over, one of the walls and everything again is kind of like made out of this like almost like stone that exists because it supports the structure overhead and There is actually a hidden chamber that is opened by like one of those, kind of push the brick in and move it to the side slightly, and that releases the clasp, so the door kind of comes loose and you can push it open. And what happens to be inside this secret chamber is where it was that they were putting together. It's like almost like an alchemist lab that exists inside here. So you look about and there's all sorts of different like things inside jars. The smell that's in here is very pungent. It smells so strongly in here. You're kind of surprised the smell didn't permeate out into the room prior. But you see a whole bunch of different things and oils and everything in here. Neither of you guys are alchemists the way Jack is, but you're also not an idiot, Einar. You're welcome to make a check to see if you can kind of discern what these are.
The praise check?
Appraise or you don't have craft alchemy, do you, or anything like that, do you?
No, I do not.
Appraise. Appraise is fine.
Yeah.
So these are definitely a bunch of oils that have very strong smells to them, and so on and so forth. And it's one of those things where you don't know exactly what it is of crafting, the ingredients involved, but you do know that you're an old man. And old men are known to have problems with certain details, but some of these aromas are just so alluring that you just feel like you have a young heart. You know what I mean? Like there's some aspects of these that you're just like, that is
So you hear in the armor, ding.
No, not allowed that one.
Too far. So anyways, you can tell that these oils clearly have some fine tuning to them. Do you scoop them up or do you leave them behind?
Yeah, I mean, I take them. As long as I won't take any of the tools or anything, but like the ingredients I'll take.
Sure. Just kind of like grab up everything. This actually is going to take like a solid 10-15 minutes as you like wrap everything up carefully inside like cloths and whatnot and put it into your pack, so you just have a bunch of rattling bottles shattered next time you take an attack. And get everything packed up smart and head back out of there. Back considerably heavy compared to where it is. Hand it to the big hulking thing.
I was gonna say that is actually relevant. Dashik usually has Mortifer carry all his stuff. He has not much equipment right now. Usually it's on Mortifer's like belt.
Which is why he jumped off the ledge and didn't throw a rope with a grappling hook.
I don't think I have a rope anyway.
So anyways, you
who needs ropes?
I think you did, but like lost it at one point in time when you were like scaling it.
Probably.
So like I'm not going back for that. So so you finds that, which is awesome, but unfortunately you decide like Ollie said before, I think we should have a go at it from the outside, and so you guys do decide to kind of like head out that way. And so when you go back into the outside, once again, you almost forgot for a moment. In the tunnels, it was quiet, it was safe. You go back outside, it's like, oh shit. Like once we actually leave the arena, it's so open out here. It's so open out here, and you make your way through very, very rough terrain is what you must traverse to get over to kind of like that mountainous region that exists there. I mean, this place looks like it was naturally formed and not like carved. But the terrain is very rough. It's actually, what do they call it, Dave? Is it impassable? Like
impassable terrain?
4 for 1?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there's no term for it. So on a battle map, on a battle map, you spend 4 squares to move 1 square, sort of a thing.
Whew.
Yeah. So it is a very difficult terrain for you guys to traverse, and it ends up becoming one of those things where again Einar's old and not easily able to move. So very often his machine is just kind of like his astral construct is kind of like hoist him up and put him in places, then climbing up itself and like placing him up like a child on like a counter. You know, very often that's how he needs to travel, while Shashik's kind of, climbing up on his own and looking back like, oh, I wish I got the royal treatment.
So in Pathfinder, there's no times for terrain. There's just difficult terrain. There is impassable terrain, but impassable is exactly what it sounds like. Impassable.
Okay,
you cannot go through it.
I know there's a 4 to 1 that exists, but maybe it's because of a spell effect as opposed to a natural effect that might happen. Either way. You
it's all good.
Are having this very difficult time making your way through here. Eventually, you do get up higher. Roll me perception checks. You have penalties because of the sun, but
perception checks.
Whoa! Not quite fast enough. That made it sound like go from a sneeze to just fucking puking.
I don't know what sound you got.
That was pretty funny.
It was not. It was like you just tried to lift something far too heavy.
I know. Just like.
I was like, so click the button. Click.
It's like, oh, my hernia.
So your perception checks. Ooh, Shashak, crushing it. So Shashak, you actually are. Einar got it beforehand. Shashak, with your 25 perception, you actually, as you're climbing up, and you're kind of like, "Fuck me! How long does this take to?" You actually look up, and that's when you see it. You actually see there is a much like how the penthouse suite that you often stay in and enjoy, full Monty, the view out into the the is actually a pane glass, again, a windowed look that looks down into the arena down below, and just like the one beforehand, it's actually tinted. And because it's tinted, it doesn't reflect any light if light caught it the right way or anything like that, and allows to comfortably see out without anybody being able to see in, so nobody would ever see any motion. But also on top of that, the structure of the stone, which is naturally done that way, makes almost like an awning over in the area as well. So again, unless you're coming at it from the right kind of angles, you wouldn't be able to see the spot anyways. But you do, and you get like the exact view of where the window is to get up to. That gives you direction. And you
I'm gonna suggest we break the window.
No, that gives you direction to get up to it.
Ah, good.
So that last little bit of the climb, and it's a good thing that you have the direction, because you could have been spending hours kind of going in circles.
Because not only were we climbing, we were looking around.
This last little bit, whereas that whole part beforehand, I wasn't making you make any checks. It was just you moving slowly. It was annoying. This last part actually becomes genuinely difficult for you to get up to. And so you do have to make acrobatics checks or climb checks climb checks to get up there. If you can make a good argument for acrobatics, I would allow it.
I even wouldn't, because we've been traveling for so long, doing so much. It's not like I'm flipping up like if this was Faerun,
Sure.
It's just climb for safety sake.
Oh, hey.
And I have a fine climb anyway. So
Good. And I was going to ask, does anybody have rope? I know you don't. Does Einar own rope?
Does Einar own rope?
That's a legitimate
Einar
question.
make rope.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
So this it literally.
I have a chain. No, I don't.
It's a very sad thing, but you remember the really weird item I actually own, Scott? We talked about it, but it's just not been playing out the way I hoped it would have.
I don't recall, unfortunately, at the moment.
I'm wearing the robes of infinite twine.
Oh, that's right.
I actually can make because of my healing ability. I can make infinite twine and infinite rope. It's just I had so much hopes for this item, but I just could not think situations where having infinite twine would be useful. Besides maybe selling it as a twine salesman. So yes, I have rope.
Oh my god, that's amazing. All right, so yeah, you grab your rope. You're like, oh, do I have rope? You grab a thread off of and you start pulling out like crazy amounts of rope off of a thread of your robes that you're wearing. And I imagine Shashak's like, what the? So Shashak can grab as much rope as needed, which it's not only 50 feet, which is awesome because the climb is much higher than 50 feet. This actually works out great. And Shashak makes that very easy climb, ties it off at the top end, and then drops it down for you to easily climb up. That's actually drops the DC for you considerably, Dave. I was mean in setting it at a 20. Ollie crushed it. So instead of like struggling, he did it no problem. The DC is now for you, and we could even assume it's a knotted rope. DC for you is a 10, and you get a +2 to the climb check if it's knotted. Which, why wouldn't you?
All right. Well, obviously for this climb, I'm going to not have my heavy armor on. Here we go.
I always love the image of your armor dropping from heavy down to lower armor, because
there we
literally like vapors.
And it would be turning into rope.
Of you. Yeah.
So I literally needed that. So that's +2. That's a 13.
Cool. The DC was a 10, so you're good. So you make your way up the rope, no problem, and are able to get there. You actually have to roll for your construct, but before you do so, how much does that thing weigh?
I don't think they give weights. Let me check.
I imagine a lot, which is why I'm like, because I think weight came up once before, but no, that was Dave.
I mean, it's still a medium-sized creature,
but it's also like pure
dense.
Yeah. So it can climb instead if you want it to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has a +9 to climb.
Oh, okay, cool. So why don't you roll climb? You have a 50-50 shot.
Wait, hold on a sec.
And it can use the rope to give itself a +2 instead of just flat climbing with the rope.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And that +2 is exactly what it needs.
All right, there it goes.
So you use the rope to aid it as opposed to straight using the rope, which it was too heavy, would have broken it, right? Or potentially would have. So actually, you make it up there. So all of you guys get up there, no problem. You're in front of the glass thing. Now, Ollie, you said you just want to break the glass, but I imagine before you do so, you kind of want to go up to it and even look inside, or same as you did
If it's
before.
possible through how tinted it is, yeah.
Yeah, just like beforehand, you were able to do so with the ivory
When you're real
palace.
close,
Yep.
yeah.
So roll me a perception check again.
Oh.
So you go in, and it's one of those things. It's not that it's so tinted. It's just you've been outside for so long, your eyes are so dilated, you just can't see through it well enough. So
I really don't give it a good try. I'm just like,
it's like,
I will
I can't
take
see.
an iron dagger from my belt, and I will like press it against the glass, and I'll just start like trying to make a little bit of a hole.
Dave.
I know. I was just saying. I actually looked it up, and people just because I guess in the Ghost Walk campaign setting,
You
ectoplasm.
remember that setting? Remember when Mike bought
Yeah.
that book?
Yep.
He was
I
so
guess
proud of himself for that book, and we're like, yeah, we'll totally never played it.
they say in that book, 10 pounds of ectoplasm covers a medium-sized creature. So extrapolating that, you'd imagine they're actually quite light, maybe like 100, 150 pounds.
You said covers. What that means, like spreading butter across a
Yeah. So it's like over the surface area. So I mean, that's 10
You
pounds.
just got to imagine they're made of butter.
So you just have to
Makes
make,
much
yeah,
sense.
like, so in other words, weight-wise, they're kind of made of butter. So I'd say this side, it's probably about equal size to
a
creature.
regular person. Yeah, I would actually say
So I'd say about
person in full
150,
plate
170
armor.
pounds.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fair. I like it. But he goes up to the glass that he can't see through and pulls out a dagger and starts trying to like shimmy it open with a
No, I'm not trying to shimmy it open.
Sorry.
I'm trying to make a hole.
Yeah, to bore into it.
To make so the actual plan is to make a, just like when you're trying to cut anything this big, is to make a hole and then to have some smash the dagger into the glass to try and fracture it.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
kind of the plan.
Do you lend any aid to this, Einer?
No, because I want to see if you can do it because I can easily do it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So he goes in there. You're gonna be making for me. Technically, this is a strength check to do any form of damage, but that's not what you're doing first. You're trying to set that up.
Oh.
So why don't we? You're being cute here. Why don't we use open locks? What's that? Disable device first.
What the fuck is that? I've got an okay disabled device. You know what? That makes sense for disabled device. You know, it's a fine motor skill.
Okay, so you actually do shimmy and get it set up, like put that bore like a little bit of a hole in there to set it up for your strength check.
You have a disabled to say it's a plus 12?
I don't have it's not a plus 12. I have a plus 5. I rolled
he
a
rolled
12.
12. Yeah.
Oh, it's showing rolling a 5 from me. Oh.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. So then you make your strength check, and you get a big bonus to it. So with your strength check, and you hit
Okay, never mind.
I was I'm gonna try it, but then I kind of was assuming I would get the concept to do it. But
how do you hit it with the what do you hit the dagger with once you get a board in there?
Probably the back end of a weapon. You know, like the pommel of a blade.
Okay. Or my apologies. Why are you doing this?
I was literally just saying I would probably have the construct do it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I guess I would try it just to sort of make sure it all
So
works.
you do hit it, and it does fracture out a bit. It's not like you break the glass or anything. It does do like a bunch of fracturing.
It's the first step.
Yeah.
The concept.
To the whole thing, and it does a bit of a fracture. It completely gets it wedged in there. But honestly, you're thinking if you bash this thing for a while, you might eventually break the glass. But this is pretty thick glass, so on and so forth. Just like at the place beforehand, it's starting to fracture.
I'll motion to the construct to give it a whack.
Okay.
I'll walk past the construct, like kind of like pat it on its shoulder. And I walk up to the glass and just press my palm up against the glass and sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
But he wanted to break the entire thing, not slowly dissolve one small portion of it, Dave. He wants it done in 2 seconds, not 20.
It's okay because the concept already worked. It just didn't.
Oh,
finish.
fine. What
So
we
I'm
say,
happy with it.
you want it broken? Like, so if I approach it, look, you know my ability, and you say you want it broken.
I wouldn't stop you.
He doesn't care.
Nah, Ollie just wanted that to work, and it did work. It just didn't finish your job, and that's fine by me.
Okay. Does it feel like it's taking a while? Because it feels to take a while. I'll be like, just let the construct have a go.
Time doesn't really matter to people in Dark Sun. Unless it's like the moment. So if it takes 20 minutes.
I mean, we're in like the shade of rocks as well.
Exactly. Like I imagine Shashik's like sweet. Pops open his wine flask, because why would you drink water? And has a bit of a snack. Maybe massages out like his thigh where he kind of got caught climbing before or something. So you just sit there and sizzle, and he's enjoying the break. Eventually, you dissolve the glass in a large enough of an area that you guys could climb through it if you need to. But you dissolve it and are able to look inside. But the important thing to note when you look inside, there's nobody in there.
I assumed such, because we were doing shenanigans outside for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's nobody inside there. What happens to be inside there is immediately in front of the glass. There is this very large, comfortable, almost like a throne chair that sits there. That clearly was like, it gave like the perfect view to look down and whatnot. There's a couple of chairs.
Got a little wine rest.
There's a couple chairs to one side of it as well, where others would be invited to sit from time to time. And then there's an area in the back that's clearly like the servants area. But for you guys to get a better view, you do have to climb through the area as well. You can just take 20s, you know what I mean? Take 2 minutes, take a 20, doesn't really matter. Eventually you get yourselves through and go walking about inside the place. There's no traps or anything like that inside there. Like, it's not being ridiculous. But most importantly, there were also no doors from the immediate outside into this as well. My apologies. Excuse me. And this chamber up here, though, it is also important to note, it was never looted.
Oh.
So when you come in here and you look about, you see like any bits of like artwork in the sense of like sculptures, or like not really paintings or anything like that, in the sense of like sculptures, or the quality of the furniture, so on and so forth, all that kind of stuff, the tapestries, the carpets, they're all there. Actually, when you go over to where the like the mini bar is, where the bar, well, it's not a mini bar. It's not a mini bar. Let's be serious. It's a full-fledged bar. All the liquor is there, and it's all like top-notch, high-quality stuff from the various city-states around. Like the non-perishable foods are still sitting there and good. Like, this place is stocked and untouched.
Shashik gets out his swag bag and just starts filling it.
For the sake of
literally just like
for the sake of interest, now I actually activate detect psionics and detect magic.
Ooh. Takes the monocle, flips it, puts it on the other eye. Yes, I see. Indubitably, sir, indubitably.
Yes.
So you activate the two of them and start looking about the room. There is magic that permeates this room. There's actually a considerable amount of magic that permeates this room. But first of all, the thing that you notice is the glass itself is magical. The stuff that you had dissolved. Going over and examining it, spending a little bit of time examining it, you realize that when you stand in front of the glass, if you like focus on it, the glass focuses for you. It actually almost acts as like a lens of eagle eye, right? The one that gives you like it magnifies stuff so you can see far away much easier. And what you realize beyond that is not only does it allow you to really view the arena in a way that's nice, it allows you to view every seating area of the arena, but it also allows you to view the city. You can actually see much of the city, including all of Queen's Hill, so on and so forth, from this spot. Now, you actually can't see all of Queen's Hill because where you dissolved some of the glass, you actually dissolved kind of like that area that would have overlooked a little bit better over there. But most of the city, we're talking like, whereas it could view about 75% of the city beforehand, you can see probably about 60% of it now, with the dissolved portion included, removed. So That's there. The next thing in the area that you note is that the chair itself is an enchanted chair to always be comfortable. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's one of those things where when you sit in it, you are always comfortable, which is really nice. The air in here, the walls in here permeate with magic to keep the air in here at a very, very comfortable, cool temperature. Like it's so nice. The air is almost like moist.
It's like the world's most comfortable room.
Like it's literally one of the things
might want to relocate. Aside from the horrible climb we have to do to get here every time.
This whole setup is literally by far the most comfortable experience that you think could exist in the Tablelands, or at the very least over in Rom. Certainly the nicest thing you've seen so far. But one of the other really nifty things that you find is that one of the tapestries that exist here, it's a psionic one as opposed to magical. I'm gonna have to, because you don't have time to like. I'm gonna have you roll me a knowledge psionics on that one.
Oh boy, I'm good at that.
The other ones were like things that you could figure it out pretty quickly just by, interacting with them. So it's actually a tapestry of impressions, and so there's a depiction on the tapestry right now of like a battle that had taken place beforehand, where like a slave rebellion had been fought back and all of the slaves were killed. Like you're actually familiar with the scene, though not this depiction of the scene before, Einar. And you're actually like, oh, okay, the person that's standing over it with the sword held high, you actually know who that. Like, okay, I know the significance of this. But what you realize is that this tapestry takes somebody's personal experiences and threads the tapestry to take that experience and put it there. So you draw the conclusion that the person that's standing there in the center of the tapestry, that hero at some point in time was once a guest that visited this chamber beforehand and impressed their experience onto that tapestry.
So
by the way, it takes 2 power points to activate this, so non-psionic people couldn't do it. Just fun fact.
Okay, so I mean, if I so chose, could I just walk up to it, spend 2 power points, and try to put a different impression in there?
Go right ahead.
No, I'm not going to do it, but I'm just I just for sake of
you believe so, yes.
All right.
Okay, and then the last thing that stands out for you inside here is that the goblet that she has next to her, sitting next to her chair, is actually an enchanted goblet as well. This one is powerful, and again, you have a high enough check, you just can get schools. Has a powerful enchantment school on it. And obviously, there's always a layer of transmutation because everything's transmutation because it's enchanted. But powerful enchantment school on it. You're gonna have to actually physically identify that. Which, do you have the ability to cast identify?
I do not have the ability to cast.
So you don't have enough time to figure out what that is in this period of time.
All right. So can I take the goblet with me?
Yeah. You can take literally anything you want. Some of them means to carry it. A lot of the things are way too big to
carry. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I picked the goblet, because the goblet seems.
It's a big goblet.
So the room is also kind of like oblong, like almost like egg shaped, but cut off, like 40% in. So that's like the flat side that looks out towards the arena, and the rest of the oblong or egg shape, wraps backwards. Right in the back part of the curved wall is from like just when you first walked in, looked over there, it just looked like a continuous curved wall. It's like Oval Office sort of a thing. But when you get closer, you realize it's a semi-optical illusion. Once you get closer, you see, oh, okay, there's actually a wall passes behind the other wall. That's where the stairwell is that goes down. And so when you guys go downstairs to the chamber beneath, you realize that that's where there is a pretty fine-looking entrance that would have been used to get in here. This entrance clearly has several locks that are on this side of the door. So like a big bar lock sort of a thing on this side of the door. This whole area looks like there's a station. Like this would have been a guard tower at one point in time. Like guards would have always been stationed here. It is currently unguarded. So maybe they just abandoned their post, or maybe it just wasn't posted at the time that the rebellion happened. Whatever the case may be, there's no guards that are watching it right now. But you also notice that there is a second door that goes out of here, and that leads to like the chamber where the guards would be. Oh, there's a guard in there sleeping.
Okay. Well, what kind of guard?
So Templars are always the ones that kind of like watch over everything, so on and so forth. Da, 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 da. So the place is set up with 4 beds. So at any point in time, 4 people could easily, comfortably sleep here. Normal, human-sized, people could easily, comfortably sleep here because of the guards that might be here for whatever reason she's here. The Templars. Well, apparently there was only one Templar that was stationed here at the time, and he's currently sleeping since you guys trespassed. And you just haven't made enough noise to wake him up.
I want to...
You're not wearing heavy armor anymore, and why would your utility guy come down here when you guys first walked down the stairs?
I actually assumed that he wasn't even going to enter the building. Like, that was like my... I never said this, but...
Yeah,
but
so he's still outside. And you're not wearing heavy armor, so you're not loud anymore.
No.
So you open up the door, and you're like, huh, that's where they... Oh, that's legit a guy passed out. Like, he's passed out. He's got a bottle next to his bed. It's like missing like a third of it. Sitting straight up, some sort of liquor.
I want to kill the man.
Make me a stealth check.
There's rules for that.
No, just make me a stealth check.
Wow.
It's okay.
That's nearly as bad as it could have been.
Yeah. Well, that's okay because I'm going to roll a perception check. I have huge penalties because I'm sleeping.
Does he get a penalty for being a loud snorer?
As somebody who I shared a room with my older brother for a long period of time, and he's somebody that literally could wake you up from like 3 rooms over in a house.
Oh,
yeah, like if you're not like people that aren't accustomed to loud snores would not have good night's sleep if they were in the same house as him. For a period of time, we literally shared like a queen size bed. I slept next to him, and you just get used to it. It's like,
I guess.
So anyways, I rolled garbage, and I have huge penalties. So actually, you do sneak in. It's a coup de grace. It's a full round action.
Shashik sneaks over his bag, jangling with liquor bottles. Fumbling with his knife, nearly drops it.
When you put the bag down, just to make sure you can hold the knife in 2 hands, you knock over the bottle that was there. You quickly grab it and scoop it up because the cap wasn't on it. Fuck, you wasted some. Anyways, it's a full round action to do it. You still make an attack roll because you automatically hit, but it's a roll to confirm your crit.
Okay, that makes sense.
You confirm your critical hit. Now you roll critical hit damage.
Sleep.
Which is 17 points of damage. Now,
Forever.
when you do a coup de grace, immediately, if the damage isn't enough to kill them, doesn't matter. They have to make a fortitude saving throw or die.
Oh, it's basically Stars Out Numbers system.
DC 15. It's not forgiving.
I'm Mantis now, by the way. That's my new power. Touch people, make them sleep. Easy peasy.
He doesn't die.
Does he wake up?
That's what Shashik says. He puts his hand on the guy's face and like clearly strains a bit and just looks to you and is like, he doesn't die.
He does wake up. Roll initiative really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, you did 17 points of damage to him already. That's good news. That's a start.
Are you going to clear initiative first?
I did it before, didn't I?
I don't know. Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Where is my...
This is where reactionary will come in handy and will save my bacon.
All right. Well, guess what? You beat me in initiative.
Would you argue that
16 I'm last?
Yeah.
that he is flat-footed?
Nope. He wakes up groggy as shit, but still gets a 17. Ollie, it's your turn.
Would you argue he is flat-footed?
Oh, and prone.
He hasn't even taken his turn yet.
Yeah, he's flat-footed and prone.
He's technically surprised.
So you get what is it, a +4 to attack roll? His AC is much lower. Like, yep, you hit
15.
him. Yep, you hit him.
Splorp, and then I will push my blade into his body.
You hit him again. So 17, it's 23 points of damage. Sorry, 24 points of damage plus another 5 is 24, 29 points of damage. Surprisingly enough, he's actually still alive because, again, he's a Templar. These aren't wimpy people. So he's like, you fucking grab the guy. You like don't let go with your hand. And you start stabbing him. He's like, ah! Like he comes up. He wakes up. and he is just.
This is just a nightmare. Don't worry about it.
Does he stand up?
I mean, kind of. He tries to like roll up to be like in a sitting position, so he's not like technically prone, and he's actually going to try to cast a spell, because he doesn't have a weapon on him, right? So he just tries to cast a spell, which unfortunately provokes an attack of opportunity.
Well, is he gonna do it defensively?
I mean, he's at so many disadvantages because of the situation. He can't.
No.
Ah.
I just don't hit attacks of opportunity is the thing, apparently.
Ah. Okay. This is good. He actually gets to get a spell off. Ollie, could you do me a favor? Could you roll me a will saving throw?
Yes. I was just looking for the button. Hey!
Oh, crushed it.
Yeah, that was great. Don't have a great modifier on that. Not a wise lad.
God damn it. So you're going to take half damage. Hold on.
Half damage is still damage.
Mm-hmm. So as you feel like some like impending like doom coming at your own mind, this is not a fear effect, but it's actually like a psychic attack that happens against you because of an ability he has, a spell that he has. You were going to take 16 points of damage. You instead take 8. So will save for half, and you don't get the secondary effect. After that is going to be, so he does that. He like kind of sits up, does that spell, hits you with it, which I think hurts you. I think you're pretty fucked
No,
up
that's like enough to stagger me back. That's a lot.
And then he like reaches over finally, like in over next to his bed because he would keep something nearby. Is where he pulls out, and unfortunately,
he's got one of them shotgun beds.
All he unfortunately has is a dagger on him. Like he doesn't have the rest of his equipment right here. It'd be like right there, not right.
The old bed dagger.
Mm-hmm. So he's got a dagger to, under his pillow in case Charlie comes in here drunk again and he has to fend himself off. So you make your turn, Einar.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna do a full blast on him, a mind blast.
Okay.
This with it actually increases because I boosted it so much. It actually increases the DC by 3, so it's now a 21. Wisdom will save.
Fuck, they have really good will saves.
I know they do, so that's why I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do the full Monty.
Natural 17. I beat the will save. Do I get half damage or nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Might live for another round.
Day.
Oh god. Okay. All right, so, Ollie, that brings us back to your turn, boyo.
Oh, no, you really pissed me off. I'm gonna... he didn't sleep in armor, I assume.
No. This is a secured location. The fact that he has a dagger in his bed is me being forgiving.
13 might probably... Is that a hit?
For a touch attack, it is. He doesn't have an 18 AC. Dexterity. What did you do to him beforehand? It was, my apologies, let me just double check. 7 and 5 is 12, plus 17 is 28, I think it was. 29. So, 9 more, 38. Ollie, feel free to describe your kill.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Because after, getting mind whammied by this spell that Shashik doesn't really get hit by very often, staggers back and then just you shouldn't have done that, and just launches at the dude and actually starts biting his neck while doing the devastating.
Jesus Christ.
Actually just starts brutalizing this dude for a minute until he stands up.
Does Einar stand there and watch, or does he just kind of go about?
Close the door. Wander off.
He's a wild animal. Jesus Christ.
The beast is unleashed.
You have a couple options here. 1, you can stay and watch like a spectator. 2, you can walk away and just let him do his thing. Or 3, you can become Michael Vick and start training him.
What the fuck? That was a dated ass joke. Michael Vick joke.
That's a whoosh right back.
That's not dated. He still plays as a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but that whole news is 5 years old.
Yeah, but do you know any other named, dogfighting ring people?
Anyway, I would likely while he's brutalized him, I would move away to see where the path leads. and to see if there's. Literally, what I do is I'd probably check for evidence that there's been other people here recently.
Okay. Okay. If it makes you feel any better, I'll say this instead. He goes full Whitey Bulger on the guy. Does that make you feel better?
How about the guys who brutalized Whitey Bulger? He got torn apart in prison.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think okay.
Yeah. So anyways, my apologies. So you kind of like go about the room and looking for everything else. You just find his equipment around the area. You just find the equipment and everything that he had beforehand. But it is important to note, so his equipment being like, his bits of, armor and everything that he had. Don't worry, Ollie, it doesn't fit. So everything that he had sitting inside here, and it's just his equipment because there were no other people that were stationed here at the time. You can see like the signs that clearly he's been here alone for months, has not left the facility. Yeah, he has. That's ridiculous. Of course he has. Because the tunnel that exists here goes to the Sepulchre, which is part of the organization that he's a part of, which leads you back to Ollie. After you're done finally coming out of your rabbit attack.
Wait. Can I just make something clear? This poor guy has been having no action, alone here, guarding this place by himself. The one time he has his job to do, he's asleep.
Yep.
His big moment.
Yep.
What he's been put here for.
But to be fair though, they actually do switch them out. It's not like it's one person forever. Like,
I'm just saying that's just bad luck.
But Ollie, when you do pull out of your vicious attack against this guy, and you notice the back of your hand.
Nice.
Yeah, has a little sigil on it. So it just makes Mortimer feel like, oh, come on.
Doesn't Mortimer have one now too?
Mm-hmm. But now he's not in the cool kid club.
Now it's a squad tattoo. Ina just needs one.
Yeah, because of my summons do all the murdering.
They get tattoos on their hands. Their hands turn into goo.
So you look about and you don't see anything else of note. But you do, of course, like I said, there was that door that led to when you guys actually open it up and look inside. It does open to a rather large chamber that along the entire chamber, there's tons and tons of ever-burning torches. So just kind of like line it and keep the whole thing. And they're like, it's not like they're spaced out just enough to keep the place lit. No, it's like, no. It's the whole place is very well lit from here to the other end with ever-burning torches.
Can I have like some ever-burning torches?
Yeah, if you can like.
Can I get them off?
Sizzle away the wall around it.
Well, no, it's an ever-burning torch. It's not. It doesn't create.
No. He means even if it's like trapped in, you can literally burn away whatever like piece of metal is holding it in place.
You can take it. Yeah.
You can take ever-burning torches. Yeah. What do you want? 4?
Yeah. So it's like 4.
There's 4 different spots of the hallway where it's slightly less dark, or one spot in the hallway where it's a lot more dark.
Well, we'll do the one spot that's a lot more dark.
There you go. They
can sue the state for unsafe corridor.
And as the lawyer in you. So,
yeah.
So you take the torches and you actually have 4. So I imagine what's his name? Shashik doesn't know what they are. So all of a sudden you see him like grab a lit torch, and just throws it into his backpack.
Shashik is like, just wipes like blood from his mouth and just shrugs. Ina does a lot of things that Shashik does not understand.
Yeah, you're the one who's like pulling a guy's ear out of your mouth, so I want to hear it.
I went for the neck. Thank you very much.
You went for the juggler.
Yeah.
So eventually he takes 4 torches, fully lit and emitting light, and puts them inside of his pack, fireside down.
Is this a tunnel?
It is.
Or just a chamber?
Well, it's a very, so the room that you came in.
It just tunnel just goes as far as.
There was the room that he was in, but then you open up the door and it's a tunnel that is a very broad. Now, it is technically a tunnel, yes, but we're not talking like, oh, it's a tunnel, like you imagine like a mining tunnel or like that. It is a corridor. Like,
yes.
It is about 15 feet wide, about 15 feet tall corridor that goes, and it's ornate the entire way. There's actually occasionally along the corridor, there's little bits of like paintings and whatnot of people of paintings of, you'll eventually learn are former lovers of hers, like that were gladiators beforehand. So like just people that she had depicted and put as like reminders along this corridor.
So
Shashik will wash his mouth out with a swig from the bottle the Templar had, and then just be like, "It's a long tunnel."
I assume that heads all the way back to Sepulcher. Is that the only way to get into this room like properly? Is this from the Sepulcher tunnel?
From what you can tell, yeah.
Well, I guess the last things I would do is I would do a thorough search of the walls to confirm that, and I would take a 20 or whatever, or like just take time, as much time as you need to.
Because there's a negative effect for failing. You have to roll.
Okay, that's fine.
Negative effect for failing being you don't find anything.
Okay, so I say let's just confirm that there's no secret points of entry to this place.
You can roll as well, Ollie, of course.
Roll well.
It's not like Star Wars where something bad can happen if you roll poorly.
Oh, did I roll for the freaking construct? God damn it, that was a good roll.
Well, roll again.
Bah.
You don't find any other secret points of this, or entrances, or chambers, or anything like that whatsoever. Just the things that I described in that chamber beforehand. This chamber, which was clearly kind of a guard station, then the place where guards would be able to switch out in duty and they're sleeping or whatever.
So the plan right now, as I say, I'm going to melt the body, head back upstairs. We exit through the hole. I will repair the hole. I don't know if that repairs the magic, but I mean it repairs the hole. And you won't
know that until you come back in.
Yeah, and we head back home with the knowledge of where this place is.
Wait to get the other boys and then squad up and head out in.
Yep.
So when you guys head back that direction, heading home, is the plan to once again go all the way around through the ghost town and or do you want to try to hop the wall? So cool, you go the long way around. So one of the things that you note is that when you go around the ghost town and go on your way in, at one point in time, right outside the Tanner's house that we had described beforehand in the prequel session, as you guys walking by there, I imagine Shashak tosses almost like a mindless look that way. And I know that you before, Dave, was caught your eye because the quality of work clearly that came off of this place. You could tell it says the Untouchables area. And they actually had a sign outside of it that was in decent shape for the work that they did. Somebody comes out, kind of rubbing their hands in a cloth. An older man comes out rubbing their hands in a cloth, cleaning them off whatever oils they were working with, and looks in your direction. Says, "Shash."
Yeah.
And he takes a step forward. He's like, "Is that you, boy? Is that you?"
Yeah, it's me.
You coming home?
Nah. Got shit to do.
Looks to Einar. Looks back at you. Takes a slow...
Just takes a swig from the bottle he's holding.
Takes a slow, deep breath. All right. And then he just goes back inside.
No, before he goes back, what happened to everyone?
It's one of those you say that as he grabs the door handle.
Yeah.
He turns back around. Looks like you laid a trail.
All right.
Other people thought maybe they had a chance to move it up. And so, no one's looking. They slipped in the city.
Might be safer out here, pups.
Just nods slowly. He points to a portion of your armor and says, "Doesn't fit."
Pinches.
Does a head gesture towards the door.
There's a heavy reluctance, but he'll head in.
Okay. You guys go into the house, and it's in much better shape than you would expect a home to be in the Untouchables area. However, this man runs a really good business. He does very quality work. You can see it in the leathers and everything that are here. You can smell it in the air. Tanning oils are very, very pungent. They're not very pleasant at all. But you can.
That's why it's out here.
You can tell that it's one of those things where the quality of materials that he uses are far greater than the nasty stuff you would find a typical tanner working with. And just Einar, you're not somebody that generally knows much about armor beyond summoning your own, but just looking at it, you can see like this is good stuff.
I appreciate craftsmanship. I'm an artiste.
Exactly. Well, you have a really high craft skill, sculpting and all that stuff, so you can see the quality of work. So he.
I also have a very high carpentry skill that I've never really used.
Not much wood in this city.
No, just as a no, I know, but just building stuff, just as a joke. Let me roll a carpentry check.
You know what's funny?
That's brilliant.
You know what's funny is never mind. I'm not even gonna make the joke. So it was forced. So he just points at a table, like more or less for you to take your armor off and put it there.
Yep, I'll do it, but I very clearly like keep my weapons on me.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't really say anything. He just He just goes to work. You take it off. He goes to work. Does a little bit of like snipping. Looks up at you. Looks down at the work. Snips. Fixes like one little hole area. Like patches it up. Puts holes in different spots, like the plug through holes for like where things tie up, so on and so forth. Does a couple more adjustments. The armor that you're wearing is the chitin armor, right? No,
it's no. This is the Ankeg gladiatorial.
Oh yeah, the Ankeg armor. That's right.
Which is essentially the same. In
different type of chitin. Yep. So after like maybe an hour and a half of working on it, quietly, not saying anything, this like palpable awkward silence in the room between this father and son for poor Aina.
And Shashik is just like drinking.
And once it's all said and done, he kind of like gestures for you to put it on, and like you start putting it back on. It takes a bit of time because it's armor. Around when you're finishing putting it on, he comes into the room once again, kind of like drying his hands off with a towel, and places a small bottle on the table, and says, "That'll keep it preserved." It's Ankeg, right?
That's what he tells me. I'll pick it up and like pocket it.
That'll it might come in handy.
Cheers. All right, off.
As you go to leave, he says, "She wasn't home, but your sister would like to see you. You come through here again."
If I'm in the neighborhood, I've got a very responsible boss now. Got business, doing things. Very productive, very busy.
I likely literally have the goblet out, and I'm experimenting putting liquids in it and see if they change. Like,
She walks like you now.
Smart.
She approaches situations like you now.
More smart.
I'm sure that's why she's starting to look like you now. And then when he says that, he looks like the nastiest scar on your face.
Yeah. It's just like, world's changing, Pops.
Door's always open, he says as he like turns and like walks back. Like starts walking the other way.
And then I walk out and suggest like motion for Aina walk out and then close the door.
Mm-hmm. And you guys make your way back to the ivory fucking palace. Where you're like, yep, let's not talk about that. And
I probably would give him kind of like a knowing smile at one point, but I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because, like, technically speaking, in accordance to law, if this is all true and he's technically an untouchable, not only has he been doing illegal things for a long period of time, but you shaking Ollie's hand is a bad thing. Like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
untouchable.
You've broken the law by touching him, basically.
I always knew he was untouchable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because. No, I mean, you never told me, but I met you in the Untouchable Town. Yeah. Just the way you know about the city, the way you talk, the way you act. It always seemed pretty apparent to me you were an untouchable.
Yep. And he's untouchable because he's fucking amazing. What? Drop the mic, walk away. So, anyways,
I got touched many times today.
You guys make your way back into the house, and
a lot of touching happened today.
Into your chamber. Iron are feeling a little like tired. But not just because of like all the climbing and everything. Shashik fucking out of breath and has new wounds on him, like dried blood spots and so on and so forth. His armor fitting amazingly well. As the two of them are in there playing cards, and he's like, what's it? Jack puts down like a flush, and he's like, "Looks like I won this hand." And Mortimer is like, nope, go fish. And like takes one of his cards and puts it into his hand. And Jack's like, yep, you won, buddy. You won again. And they look up to see you guys in the state that you're in. And we'll call it there.
Yeah, I would walk up to Jack and just like hand him the bag of stuff and be like, "Merry Christmas."
And we can do that next session. You that scene.
I'm glad Christmas exists in
Jesus exists in every reality.
It's true, mostly because Jesus as an expletive is just so easy and fun.
Exactly. Jesus has to exist in every reality because if you are an English speaker, you will use his name in vain.
I try to come up with other like
sometimes
Peller's,
just
like or Morden's beard. You try, but like you still
like
eventually.
Morden's beard.
You have to be like. I was gonna say you have to be like a cowboy. God, fragging, dragon, Yosemite Sam.
That's all the time. Like when I'm with my daughter, I don't say like, God fucking damn it. I say, gosh darn it. You know
It's
what I mean?
just it's the casual filter is on for D&D. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where, it's so part of my vernacular that.
Yet you have to be like my mother-in-law. She says cheese and crackers.
That's my grandparents say similar things as well, but they're ministers. So like they've each been ministers for over 50 years. So it's one of those things where they have their, fiddlesticks. You know what I mean? So the one that
I would never say fiddlesticks. I'll be caught dead before I ever say fiddlesticks in a meaningful way.
I mean, you're literally saying it right now.
In other words, in context.
The one thing that my grandmother still says that blows my mind, she says it because we're like, and she's like voted for Bernie Sanders, so she's like a super progressive old lady, and like she's like one of the most humble, nice people, but she still says like what we're playing, like I don't know, stacks, like a dice game that you can buy at like a Target or something, and so we're playing the game, and she'll like something bad will happen, and she's like, "Oh, you cotton picker," and we're like, "Grandma, no, do not. That's not okay." But
different time.
Yeah. It's the one bit of her vernacular that like we just can't.
Grandma.
Pull that one out.
Grandma.
You know what I mean? It's so funny.
Good old racist.
Can't say that.
It's literally the one line too, which all things considered not so bad, but it's like shucks. Anyways, let's call it a night. We don't have the boyos here, so Ollie, who are you? How can we find you?
I'm Ollie. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at OllieRant. I do my own shows too, where I roleplay many characters. One is on Wednesday at 7 p.m. GMT. One is on Sunday at 12 midnight GMT. They're a good time. They're both in the same world. They interact with each other. It's a good time. I also do game streams and art streams and all that stuff. Check it out.
David?
I'm a lawyer.
Okay, so we can find him at the bottom of any sewer drain, inside of a couple of gutters. Even sometimes when you come in and you step in your house and you're like, wait, why does my foot feel a little slick on my hardwood floor? And you look at the bottom of it and you're like, oh, that's where you can find him.
Look at the bottom of your shoe and there's Dave.
Sometimes if I want to get a shiver, I try to think of a world without lawyers. What a terrible place that would be. Sunshine, rainbows, smiles. Ugh.
I mean, lawyers are what make up almost our entire government. It's just like,
Scott, where can we find you?
Daleric. That's where you can find me.
I can see you right now.
Mm-hmm. That's right here. There's the word DAELRIC. Google that. You'll find me there.
Sesame Street.
Just leave out the squiggly A.
Oh, the at.
Is there a more proper name for that symbol?
I'm sure there is because it's a Greek letter.
There definitely is. I don't remember it though.
I'm pretty sure it's a Greek letter, but it's actually the AE. I don't. Most people don't know how to do the a.
I actually can't. I can't write an ampersand from memory, even though like I play Dungeons and Dragons and look at the fucking thing.
No, yeah, ampersands on. I only ever type it. I will never draw it.
Oh, I do. I don't do the almost like music note version. I do the like backwards 3 with the like kind of like.
I just use a plus. It's the same.
That's what I do. But in other words, I mean Dungeons and Dragons. I mean,
Yeah,
they incorporate the ampersand into almost like into their magazines and stuff. Like it's like a big part of
It's
like
their logo.
It's a logo, yeah.
yeah, I know.
Oh, it's funny.
Like that, like every I don't know if you read the new Dragon magazine, but they actually have a page always dedicated to some random artist drawing their unique take on the ampersand.
Okay, wow. And last thing before we go, come on, the pictures of the characters on the overlay right now, that was good, right? Like you have to appreciate. I don't know if you guys saw Mortifer.
Oh. All right, I'll allow it.
I thought that was a mistake. Was that like a joke?
No,
because he's so tall.
Yeah, he's so big. He's a big boy. Come on.
Sometimes it's hard to tell Scott's mistakes from jokes and jokes from mistakes, but still.
Most of my jokes are mistakes, if you know what I'm saying. But
well, I assumed that when it was getting past 9, it was like I just pictured Scott was scrambling at his computer, like trying to get everything set up.
No, I fell asleep for like 45 minutes, and Britt woke me up, and I was like, I will help put daughter to bed and clear brain peace. That's why. But anyways, that's why when we first hopped on the call, I didn't even have headphones on. I was like, click, click. But all right, I'll catch you guys later. So we will be playing, I believe, in 2 weeks, right? Yeah, we'll be playing in 2 weeks. You can join us here next week at Wednesday night. I believe we're playing General's Directive.
2 weeks. 2 weeks is Black Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, wait. So we actually have a schedule. Thank you for bringing that up, Dave. We actually do have a very specific schedule for this week, this month, because of Thanksgiving throwing things off. Today's what, the 8th or something?
Today's the 9th. Oh, sorry. It's past midnight. It was the 8th.
So we play on the 15th. Actually, we'll be here next week. That's right. We'll be here next week to play.
Glad we checked that now, because I didn't remember that.
We're playing next week, but then we won't be playing the week after that, because I think we won't be playing for 2 weeks after that. So it'll be November 15th, then December 6th. Will be the next two sessions.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep. I don't know why bat, but yes. And yeah, next week I believe we're playing General's Directive, because I think we're still missing Wade next week. So I'm almost positive it's General's Directive, and that's awesome because they're in a great spot. I almost killed Doxy. All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.
Spoilers.